we're going to do roasted chicken, noodle soup. And we're going to do fundamentals today. I'm going to show you how to carve. I'm going to show you how to roast chicken. I'm going to show you how to make chicken stock. It's going to be a loaded show tonight. Sounds good. Let's wait for some people to come in. It doesn't look like there's anybody in. Is there anybody in here?
DeBall.
DeBall's in here first, of course. DeBall, Supermod. Who's been vaping in here? You're messing up the cameras up. All right. Ficus is in. DeBall is in. We're going to just stand around and wait for some people to show up. Maybe they won't. The oven's up and running. I have my oven set to 425 degrees. It's getting warmer. We do a tad bit of prep work, just get some plastic open. Hey, Double! Thanks again for coming in and spending some time with us and just being the all-around coolest motherfucker on Twitch. All right. Okay. Nightbot's in. Nightbot's here. The ball's here. Thickens is here. Let's start with the beginning culprit. The chicken. Sanderson Farm chicken. 100% natural. No salt added. No artificial ingredients. Let's go. We're going to break this down. We're going to break his little cousin down. And then we're going to roast them. Well, actually, we're going to roast them first. Open up this here package. How's it going tonight, DeBall? How's everything going? Man, I saw that super sweet induction burner you had. I'm glad that you're cooking. I don't know how often you cook, but anytime I see anyone cooking, that's a good thing. Let's try and get this mic out of the way. This mic likes to hit me in my head while I'm cooking. All right, so let's go to the oven cam. Oven. Try to cook as often as I can, and yeah, tonight was my first time using that burner. My parents got it super cheap at a pallet sale. Yeah, I was reading that on the Warriors Discord channel. I don't know what a pallet sale is, but it sounds pretty cool. $20 for that induction burner. That's a nice one too. It's not a run of the mill by any means. Okay, so we got our little chicken out of his package, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the wings and I'm going to fold them under. Now the way I do that is by popping that under like that and kind of making sure that they sit right underneath the front of the bird, like so. So the gravity is holding the wing into the front. Get a side view of that. You can see the gravity is holding the top part of this wing underneath the front of the bird. Pop, pop. He's going to slide around a little bit. That's fine. Next, we're going to get some olive oil. I'm going to rub it lightly with olive oil. Now, the reason why I'm using olive oil, and you can use butter or anything like that, but the smoke point of butter is a little bit too low for me, because we're going to blast this thing at 425, and that's going to cause the skin to kind of shut close, and it's going to keep the juices inside of the bird, which will allow our meat to be a lot juicier, and it's not going to dry out as easily on us. These little guys, they don't take a whole long time to cook. Oh, here's another thing you always want to test. Now, it's a good thing we did this too, because you always want to check the inside for guts. A lot of people use these things. There's a little liver. Looks like some lungs. And there should be a neck in here. But you want to make sure to get all these little giblets out, because you don't want to cook them in there, or it'll make your bird taste gamey, strange. So I'm going to reach right into the cavity, make sure I've got everything. Oh, look there. This is a chicken heart. See the little valve right there? Some people will actually take those and just deep fry them up like they would fried chicken, and they'd eat all of this stuff. We're going to save this for later for our stock. So we got them all good and oiled up. And now I'm going to head over to our cutting board, and we're going to start breaking down some fresh herbs for them so that we can get a nice flavor over the top. Gets a bunch of pallets in full of just random stuff, probably from like returns and such, and then they just have a big sale. That's super cool. I would wonder how we could get in on that, because let me tell you, as I'm sure you know, Op9 does not have the best pan situation going on. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. I don't want to get chicken funk on my board. Chicken is a foul bird. But no, seriously, it can carry harmful bacteria, and namely salmonella. You can get some really dirty things from cross-contamination of poultry. So we definitely want to make sure to wash our hands really well anytime we hold or touch the raw chicken. Even these 100% natural, thing or whatevers, I mean, honestly, it's better safe than sorry. Because I've had salmonella, and let me tell you, it is not good. I'd rather die than get that ever again. Now, hands are clean and dry. We're going to head over to the cutting board. And I have a little organic poultry seasoning medley. This is a fresh product. And inside of it, it has fresh rosemary. That's the thing that's telling me that my oven is now ready. But so it has fresh rosemary in it, and we'll just go ahead and open it up. Fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, and a little bit of fresh sage. Those all work very well for poultry, which is why they call it poultry seasoning. I'm going to go ahead and individually process these different herbs, and they smell really nice. This is our sage. That's what sage looks like in case you're trying to identify it in the store. Sage is almost, I dare say I'd almost only use it for poultry. Now thyme, the only usable part on thyme, unless, well, we're actually going to throw it in our stock later, but the only really usable part on thyme that's edible is the tiny, tiny little leaves right here. Right? So we're going to have to take off those leaves, and I'll show you how to do that in the easiest way possible, but some of them have already fallen off into the little container, and we can use that for sure. So we're going to knock those out, and we're definitely going to use them. Since it's already on the board, I'll go ahead and show you how to get rid of the stems of the thyme. So you literally take one of the long stems off, just like so, and you can take and run your finger along. So you're going to hold it on the end here and just run your fingers very lightly along the stem, and you'll get all those little leaves off. Thyme is useful for all different kinds of things. I like to use it on steak. Thecus likes to use it on steak as well, along with rosemary. And that's like her famous herb crusted steak that she does is really good. Maybe sometime we can get her to show us that. But right now we're going to concentrate on the fundamentals of chicken and chicken soup. Now, I'm not going to use all this because thyme, especially fresh thyme, is pretty strong in flavor. Besides, he's a little chicken. We don't need all of it. This big one right here, I'm going to use for what I call a bouquet. We're going to use that later. Put that off to the side here. Now, sage. The best way to deal with sage is what the French call a chiffonade. And chiffonade goes like this. You take off all of the leaves and you stack them on top of each other into a little bundle. I'm going to do that with all my sage. Not all of it. Let's see. We'll leave some of this for the bouquet as well. But I'm going to take this and I'm going to roll it up. Like so. Roll it under until I have this little fine roll. And then what I'm going to do after that, because I'm going to put the roll opening down, I'm going to take my knife and very carefully I'm going to chiffonade it. And what that does is it makes it into these little tiny ribbons. You can see those little tiny ribbons coming off. And I'm going to chiffonade the entire little roll of it. Then I'll take the chiffonade and I'll cut it crosswise. Now, chiffonade is a definitely usable cut by itself. You can use it as a garnish and it looks really nice. But pretty much I just use it to make it more manageable to cut into smaller pieces. So our chiffonade is done. And now 2 of our ingredients are taken care of. Now, here we have rosemary, and this is fresh, beautiful rosemary. It grows wild in the Northwest where we live. But I'm going to do the same thing with the sage as I do with the rosemary. But I'm not going to do it all at once because the stems of rosemary can be very woody. And the cool thing about rosemary is because it's woody, you can actually use this for a skewer if you wanted. You can actually skewer a piece of chicken onto here, and it would get all the flavor from the rosemary, and it makes a cool little like garnish. Since we're not going to do that though, we'll harvest the top and move on to the next one. This one's nice and bushy, but we're going to do it slowly because we don't want it to pull off any of that woody exterior. It's kind of like a bark on the outside of these stems, and it makes them kind of well, it's like eating bark, honestly. It's not very palatable. So we're gonna bunch that up into as much of a little packet as we can, and we're gonna cut it almost like we did with the chiffonade. Of course, since it's not a leaf, the chiffonade doesn't work as well in getting all of the pieces, but it still is an effective way to cut your herbs down into smaller bits. And man, the smell from that is amazing. The rosemary is one of my favorites, and the reason why is because fresh rosemary, when you first cut it, almost smells like honey. It smells like it has honey naturally in it. And a couple of fun facts about rosemary. Rosemary is one of the active ingredients in all sorts of cough suppressants like Vicks VapoRub. So Vicks VapoRub is eucalyptol, which is a form of eucalyptus oil, rosemary oil, and mentholatum. And petroleum jelly. That's it. That's what makes Vicks Vapor Rub. So it's a very powerful aromatic. Very, very pungent. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mix up all of our herbs. And I'm just going to get in my hand. Going to use my other hand to slowly rub in the herbs. Now, along with the oil and the herbs, they're going to get dark really quick. So we want to make sure to flash this chicken as quickly as possible because we don't want the herbs to burn off all the way, but we definitely want it to impart some flavor. And the rest of the herbs are going to go inside of the cavity. Now, there are other things that you can put on here. You can put citrus in. You can put lemon. A lot of people will actually take the lemon and they'll cut it in half and they'll put it inside of this cavity here. That cavity, it'll help that cavity to kind of impart flavor throughout the entire chicken. Now, we got the herbs. Get them nice and spread out all over the bird. We got our herbs. Now we need to do our cracked black pepper. You know, they sell these now in the store really cheaply. It's literally just a pepper grinder, and it actually has 3 different sizes on it. And I almost always use the biggest size because I really like big peppercorn. I'm going to run the cracked black pepper over the top of the chicken. MCB coming in. What's up, MCB? Man, it's good to see you. We're doing some cool shit today. I'm going to show you how to roast off your own chicken in the oven. I'm going to show you how to break it down. And when I show you how to break down the chicken, I am also showing you how to break down turkeys for the holiday. Make it easy, make it simple. You can do it at the table, really impress people. Smoky forelung. I did use oil. I used olive oil to keep this herb mixture on the chicken. Now I'm also going to use some kosher salt, which is in this little guy. I'm going to use just a little bit of kosher salt on there. You know who Smoky Forelung is, right?
I have guesses.
Yeah.
But there are a variety of people that could be Smoky Forelung.
So I'm going to actually put a good fair amount of the kosher salt on the outside. Because you have to remember, when we're using kosher salt on the outside of a large piece of meat, we're actually trying to season the entire thing. So a good amount of salt on the outside will help to season the entire bird. And it's going to go in the oven. Our oven is set to 425 right now. And we're going to pop that in there. This bird is small. So I'm actually going to flash it for only about 10 minutes. And then I'm going to cook it at a way lower temperature. So I'm going to pop that in there right now. And it's going to start cooking. I'm going to set a timer on my phone. This is, I even use timers at work. It's the best way to do any kind of timers. The oven timers can be inaccurate, especially even the one at work. Sometimes it just never goes off, and that's not good, especially when you're trying to, something like this that could burn very quickly with the olive oil and all that. Hope Panda Beast is in the chat. How's it going tonight, man? I seen you streaming earlier. You're streaming some Fortnite? You're hanging out with MCB, or you guys all hanging out together, playing together? So I'll show you about the bouquet later. We're going to get the rest of our herbs off the board. I'm just going to put that in a little turnpike there until we can use it. I like this board. It's got a little turnpike around it. Good for like carving and whatnot. The blood and stuff doesn't get into it. But I'm going to begin to process my vegetables for the soup. I want to process those now while the chicken's doing its thing. That way I'll have it all ready to go. Mise en place, guys, remember. Who remembers what mise en place means? I know you do, Hopan. Been running squads with MCB all night. Was lit. Yeah, the channel was auto-hosting you when I first came on, and I saw you were playing Fortnite. I gotta get it. I gotta pick it up. I mean, I'm pretty sure I'm not gonna be any better than it at any other game that I play, but it looks like fun at least. And it's always good running with you guys. Okay. So this celery is really small. I'm going to cut off the business end, but we're not going to throw this away. That was a big noise. What just happened?
Gifty Gaming is now following.
Gifty Gaming. I'm not sure I know who that is, but thank you very much for following. There he is. Look at him. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Gifty Gaming. I know that name. Where's that from? Where have I seen that before? I think that's your sister. That is your sister. Yeah, that's Seek's sister.
Oh, I gotta go check the door.
I have a very good microphone. The only problem is it's centralized right now. I have to figure that out. But yeah. Anyway, mise en place, nobody guessed it. Means everything in its place in French. So, like right now, I'm about to have... it's being held for review. Thegus has got to allow it. But, so, like, I'm about to have my back to the mic, and it's going to be a little bit harder to hear. Mise en place is French for everything in its place. Hopan is also a chef. So he knows. He's had it drilled into his head. We're going to nip off the tips of this. Like I said, do not throw it away, because I'm also going to be showing you how to make dank chicken stock tonight. And chicken stock is made out of all those little pieces that are otherwise undesirable. It is the garbage can of the kitchen, and we can turn the garbage pieces into gold. So we got all these little guys. Take off all those little pieces. The more stuff you have in your stock, the more flavorful it's going to be. But you got to be careful with this stuff because it can actually become bitter. So you don't want to stew it for too long. The astringency will come out. I wonder how far along you are. Sans Perel in there. Woo! My kind of cooking, using everything. That is the way to go. So, welcome to the stream, everybody. Sans Perel, you've been in here almost, I think actually you've been in here for every single stream, maybe not the gaming. How do you share it to your stream? I think you would have to host it, which I'm not 100% sure how to do yet, but Debal could probably help you with that. Yeah. Good to see everybody in here, man. Good to see everybody. How far along are you? Did you make it home yet, Giffy? I know you were taking a long drive across the country last time I heard. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this on a bias. Just like we were kind of doing last time. I like to have texture in my soups. Yeah, I'm also going to get that clip of us on the rocket ride. Did you guys win? You guys got a rocket ride? That's amazing. I've actually never actually seen that happen. But to be fair, I really haven't watched that game too much. Pretty much only the majority of time that I've spent watching that was MCB actually. So 12 hours to go. Stopped at a hotel. Got too boring. Yeah, that's probably not the most scenic drive, especially not in the middle of the damn night. Um, so yeah, we're just continuing to cut up our stuff and make our mise en place happen. We probably don't need to use all of this celery, but I'm kind of just gonna wing it, and when I feel like I have enough celery for the soup, I'll go ahead and do it. Now we're actually gonna do two different kinds of chicken soup tonight. Same base, but different pasta. The first pasta is going to be a potato gnocchi, and gnocchi or gnocco in Italian is a potato dumpling. This is store-bought because I didn't have a lot of time to do that. Well, we'll save some for you when you get in. We'll be able to do that. But this is store-bought stuff, and it's actually Delalo or Delayo, or this is actually a fairly good brand of gnocchi. And we're going to be doing this, and we're also going to be doing one of my favorite noodles from way back in the day, Radiatore. Radiatore is a loud package. Crinkle, crinkle. But Radiatore, the reason why they call it Radiatore, I bet. I'm going to show you what these noodles look like. And I bet that you're going to be able to guess why they call them Radiatore. All right, here it is. Examine. Why do you think they call these noodles Radiatore?
Here we go.
I'll give you a second to answer. Think about the shape. Think about why it would be called that. Because it looks like a radiator. That's exactly what it is. Radiatore means radiator. Sans Perel coming in. So, I had another great friend of mine come in, and he actually, I'm sure you guys have noticed, did quite a bit of background and layout stuff for us. So, I wanted to thank him. Will, you know who you are. But yeah, he did all these little things. He made it look like little TVs for us, and we even have new sub animations that are unique, very unique to our channel. And yeah, the follow is still the same, but we'll figure that out. And yeah, so I'm definitely looking forward to hopefully getting a sub tonight so that we can see that hilarious clip. And once you see it, you're going to want to see it again and again because it's funny. So even though this particular celery is not the largest, not very overgrown, I would say, it's still very nice, very firm. I'm going to do a couple more of these like that. I'm actually going to speed it up because I'm kind of tired of cutting it. But it's so weird to work with a light in front of you. Oh! There's our timer. That means that we can now turn down our chicken to a proper temperature. But I'm going to take a look at it real quick. Alright. So, I'll pull it out for you so you can see. But what basically has happened is the outside skin has begun to close up, which is good because it's going to hold in all of the juices. Now the outside here is also started to brown, but we haven't burned our herbs. That's very important. We don't want to burn the herbs at all. Sorry, this is pretty heavy and hot. So I'm going to actually put it back in the oven now. But hopefully you got a good look at that. All right. Now I'm going to turn down the temp to 320 degrees. You can follow this same step at home when you're cooking your turkeys. So when you're cooking your turkeys this season, the time is going to change a little bit, but the temperature will not. when you're cooking a turkey, depending on the poundage, I can actually cook a turkey in about an hour and a half, even up to 20 pounds. What I do is I take it at 425, I blast it for 25 minutes, and then I turn the oven down to 320 or even 300, and I work that for about another hour. And then you're going to take it and test the time and test the temperature. Sorry, test the time. You're going to test the temperature, and if it is 155, all the way in the joint. I mean, you got to go all the way in there and make sure that you're all the way into the joint so that you can see how much it actually has, the temperature is actually raised. Because if not, you're going to get a turkey breast that's 155 and a joint that's still bloody and red. And we don't want that. All right. It is so awkward working with this light in my way. It's literally in my view of everything that I'm cutting on this board.
You could probably push it back a little bit.
I mean,
the color is a little off on it.
Well, I mean, the vegetables look nice. And that's really what the point is. My hand looks atrocious. Yeah. That is not what my hand looks like. It looks like I just got in a fight with this thing. That is not the normal color of my hand. All right, so. Let me do a couple more. So we save the good parts, like the celery stalks themselves. We save those for the soup itself. But all of the tops, all of the weird bits and the weird ends, we're going to save all of those for our stock. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and throw that on right now. Well, as we start building up, it's going to start as a vegetable stock. And then when we add our chicken bones in there, it'll become chicken stock. And it's really that simple. But let's see. We will use, I think we got a bigger one, don't we? Yeah, we got a bigger pot. We're going to use that big pot down there. It was donated to us by the neighbor. And,
oh,
we get a sub?
We got a sub! Got it.
Delglad subscribed, and he got to see the ridiculous sub thing. So, so the story of that animation. Thekus got a onesie. She got a onesie that's like a, what is that, a panda bear? She got this panda bear onesie, and she was super excited about it, and she was jumping on the bed, and she was trying to do panda rolls on the bed. So I pull out my cell phone camera, and I'm like, all right, do the panda roll. And I got the cell phone camera, and she tries to do the panda roll, and she completely flips off the bed, hits something, knocks that off on top of her, falls off on the damn corner. And that was the one cut I got of her trying to do the panda roll. Now, I don't know where that came from, but today they put it up as the sub. And you're going to be able to see that every time somebody subs. But I wanted to especially thank my good friend Del Glad for subbing to me. That means so much. And you are now officially a member of the agency. Welcome, agent. We're going to go ahead and cut up these carrots. Now, I already got baby carrots. So, unfortunately, the skins we're not going to be able to use in our stock. But we can just throw a couple of these baby carrots in there and I'm sure it'll be fine. But usually, you would take the peels and you would throw those into your stock pot. Which is what I was looking for, by the way. Before we got our third sub. Non-family sub. Well, I'm going to be honest with you. There probably aren't too many people that I would call family more than Del Glad. I've known him since high school, maybe even middle school. And great friend. It's been a long time since I've seen him, and I got to see you again, buddy. Yeah, she falls down in that onesie a lot. It's a bad luck onesie. She wore it to work for Halloween, and she fell down pretty hard. They got it on the security cameras, and of course everybody at her work has seen it. So let's see, what do we got here? Yeah, that Twitch, you know. Nightbot is a real hard dude. Indiana Jones, Dr. Jones, welcome. Today, we're doing roasted chicken. We're gonna do stock. We're going to do soup, chicken noodle soup. And not your mama's chicken noodle soup. We're going to do it two ways. We're going to do it with gnocchi, and we're going to do it with radiatore pasta, which Sanfarel guessed correctly, or knew anyway. The radiatore means radiators. Right now, we've got the chicken in the oven. We are breaking down our vegetables as we speak. We just got our third sub. Super excited about that. And yeah, that's awesome. How are you doing tonight? Dr. Indiana Jones, the man himself, the legend. Wait for it. What's happening? Why do you cook this awesome stuff before I go to bed? Well, Doc. There's an interesting story. Not so interesting. It's a fact. I am still a working chef. I work all day and I get off late. And this is the soonest that I can possibly get on to do the stream. So I get off of work and then I go to the store to get the stuff for the night, and then I cook for you guys for a couple hours. And I'll tell you, I love it. This is better than work by far. I mean, it's just, it's more fun. I get to interact with you guys. I get to do it at my own pace. Wow, there it goes again. Sans Parel, our second sub of the night, just so we can watch Thika's fall on her face. Probably the best decision that they've made. If you want to change. Sans Parel.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe I put that up.
You did. Now you are a celebrity. You are a onesie celebrity. Sans Parel, thank you. And welcome, Agent. So, Sans Parel loves it. And you, let me tell you, Agent Sans Parel, you look really good with that star next to your name. It looks real fancy. The ball is going to help out Giphy. He says that you can adjust that in your settings on your account. And if you ask real nice, he might even be able to walk you through that in a private message. The ball is the Technomancer. He is the number one, and this is undisputed, number one best mod in all of Twitch. And we are very lucky to have him with us. So, I'm reaching for a peeler. Gonna pull myself out a little peeler. Oh wait, we gotta cut up these carrots. We're having so much fun here. We're missing steps. Yeah, the star means that you are now subscribed to this channel, and you will be able to use the emotes, which I am trying to get furiously so that we'll have them just for our guys. And let me tell you, agents, once. Wow, look at the color of those carrots. Nuclear. You can adjust the auto mod to whatever level you want. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I know what he's talking about. I have it on the second to lowest level, but I can turn it completely off.
Probably the lowest. It does kind of look like hot Cheetos, doesn't it? Man, those carrots. Definitely vibrant today. So these cameras are good cameras, but they're not exactly the best cameras.
It's more the lighting we're figuring out on that one spot.
Yeah, our lighting source there is kind of difficult. But it's underneath a counter.
Oh.
What's up?
Oh, this is moving.
looks like my dick. Oh, that's quite a joke. Anyway, I'm doing what's called a roll cut on here. We're just going to completely now ignore Giphy. I'll give you a cut. I'll cut you, woman. Okay, so I'm going to do what's called a roll cut. That means I cut on a bias, then I roll it towards me so that the bias is flat, and I cut it again right in the middle of that bias, and I continue to do that, and it will make these cool little jewel cuts that make it interesting, both texturally and visually. Takes a little second longer, but you know, your food is worth it. Okay.
Okay, let me see if that was
500.
video caption.
Denied. Mail. Welcome to the stream, guys. Man, you guys are pouring in. I love it. Keep coming. Color correction, you can reduce the red. MCB dropping some knowledge on my beautiful director. Think you're following me around. Denied Senior. Denied? 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 Welcome to the stream. I've seen that person denied. I've seen him before. I think I've seen you mostly in Indie stream and probably a little bit on Hopan stream. But anyway, welcome to this stream. We do something completely different from our friends and our close comrades who do video game streaming, which is super cool. And I love being in on it. But focus, man. I know, right? You guys, this is the thing. The reason why I slot this this particular podcast or stream for 4 hours is because I like to interact with you guys. I like to watch the chat. It's obviously denied. All right. Yeah, definitely need to get to cutting. But the reason why I'm also taking this slowly is because it's going to take us about an hour to cook this chicken. So we got plenty of time. But yeah, so a little bit more about the stream. We do cooking here. I am a chef of 17 years, professional chef, certified executive chef. And I'm going to show you guys how easy it is to cook delicious food for yourself, for your family, and how fun it can be. So I'm going to continue to roll cut my carrots. Get those all ready for the main event. What's up? I think he's just puzzled.
Oh, no, I'm messing around with the
Color correction?
I'm messing around with the color correction.
Cool. We're learning every day, guys. Every day we're cooking and every day we're learning.
Yes, guys, I am messing with the colors. Sorry. Does it look better on your guys' end? It looks a little better for me, kind of. Not as red.
Not quite as red. The vegetables, I think, look better. My hand still looks weird.
Now his hand looks... I think it looked sick before.
Hand. My hand did look sick before. Well, I guess before it looked like I just got done punching a guy. It still does. That's weird.
You're going to put it back up a little?
Somehow the color is managing to, like... It's managing to pick up weird colors from underneath my skin. This is a next level camera, ladies and gentlemen. You can see the tiny red marks are actually my soul escaping my hands.
Okay, now, okay, guys, I made it worse.
Go back, delete.
Delete?
Backspace.
Backspace.
/help. Must be very careful with this knife. This knife is biting.
Okay. I went back to the original, you guys, and I'm just gonna mess with it later.
Yeah, she's a little, you know.
But I'm learning, so thank you very much for that information.
Indy, sir. You know I'm always punching. I say I'm a chef, but I'm actually a secret agent. And I come home to cook for you guys. It's really sweet. Which one do you want? Do you want the celery to look better or do you want the carrots to look better? It's a toss-up. Alright, I'm going to save the rest of these little baby carrots for the stock, which is now starting to boil. Water's starting to boil. I'm going to go ahead and throw in all of the pieces of stuff that we're not going to use. It's now garbage to gold. That's the first stuff we got in there. We're going to add more. Parsnip. We're going to add some parsnips in there. I don't know if you guys know too much about parsnips, but I actually had some parsnip chips the other day. Those were amazing. And they are very low in carbs and also very low in sugar. But parsnips, if you haven't used them before, are actually kind of equivalent to a less sweet carrot. And instead of the sweetness of the carrot, it adds a little bit of a different kind of bite. Like somehow it manages to taste more carroty without tasting more sweet. Carroty. I just made up that word. I hope you enjoy it. You can use it. Agents only. So we're just peeling off the bits and bobs. And all of these peelings, every last one of them, is flavor that we're going to add to our stock. Any kind of vegetables that you have. Actually, you can take a little tub and any kind of vegetable stuff that you break off, that you don't eat, the ends, the stems, the bits, the bobs, the peels, all of that, and you can save them up. And when you want to make vegetable stock, which is basically what we're starting with, you just throw them in your pot, you boil them until everything is mush, and then you drain out that mush and you have a golden beautiful stock. That could be used for soups, anything. Bluer color temperature. We are using an incandescent bulb. Actually, this bulb is a gosh, what kind of bulb is this? It's like supposedly it's a warmer bulb. So yeah, maybe one that is more blue would probably help out. MCB really helping out right now.
Yeah, seriously, thank you.
I really appreciate it. Divided Reality. Man, all of the streamers are in the stream tonight. So good to see you guys. Welcome to the agency. We have 3 new agents now. And we also have our new setup. We got, if you've noticed, we've got our new little camera outlines. We've got a overlay, and we've got a hilarious new sub, which I hope, if you haven't seen it yet, you'll see it tonight. I'm going to cut off the end of my parsnip. Can't really use that. I guess you could, but stock it is. Now, this guy is going to take a little bit more strategic cutting. I can use the roll cut up to about here. Right? Now, that's a thick root, by the way. Really got to put your back into that one. But this guy right here, what are we going to do with that? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it into 4. And then we're going to roll cut it out that way. It's not going to look exactly the same, but it will look nice. So, we're roll cutting the easy part. Now the carrot, this is much denser than your regular old run-of-the-mill carrot. And the smell, we'll let Stika smell it. The smell is much different than a carrot. Almost radishy. But it's got a real nice snap to it, good bite, and it makes very good stock and very good soup. Look at all of my super smart friends, man. All of my super smart friends figuring it out for me. I tell you, this stream would literally be nothing without the work of Thekus, without the work of Will and DeBall, and it would literally be nothing. I would literally just be streaming like a bland screen for you guys to watch. We definitely have to work on the sound issues. I think that maybe we can use this camera right here. Has a fairly good mic. And if we can figure out how to turn on that mic, it would probably, the sound would be much better. It might echo with the Blue Yeti, but I'm sure there are ways that we can automate that to make it easy. MCB says the sound is good. That's cool. Sorktastic, thanks. What have you missed? I will fill you in on what you have missed. Tonight, we are making a roasted chicken soup. We're making it two ways. With radiatori noodles. Show you one of those. Radiatori noodles. And with potato gnocchi, which is a potato dumpling. If you don't know what, if you've never had it before. It's a potato dumpling that will work really nicely with our chicken. Now, our chicken is already in the oven. We've already rubbed it with olive oil. We've already blasted it at 425 degrees Fahrenheit and for 10 minutes. And that allows for the skin to really tighten up and lock in the juices. And now we have it sitting at 320 degrees, and it's going to be probably about 40 minutes before we pull it out. Right now we're just cutting up our vegetables for the soup and adding all of our extras into the stock pot. And we're having a rousing talk about stream theory and stream applications, and all of my super big brainy friends are talking about how to make the agency better. We love it. So the roll cut kind of doesn't work as well like this, but it still does make these really interesting little shapes. And those shapes, when you eat them, they're gonna feel nice. It's gonna feel nice. Good mouth feel, they call it. We'll probably have Giffy on here eventually. I'll force her to come on and hang out with us. And she can use her super annoying voice. And yeah. But we're going to have to put the camera like down here. She's the short one. She'll be like, hey guys. So we got a pretty good array of vegetables. But we're missing one key aromatic. Thekus, do you know what key aromatic we are missing for this soup?
Onion?
Absolutely. We're missing onion. You gotta have onion in a good stock. Gotta have it. Dr. Indiana Jones is gonna head to bed. And I want everybody to give a shout out to Dr. Indiana Jones, and please go and check out his channel. He plays games. He plays classic games. He does commentary on games. And the guy is hilarious. He has all kinds of cool voices. He's done voice acting work before. He's just super nice, very welcoming, and go check him out. We're gonna give him a shout out on the chat here, and there it is right there. And go check him out. Give him a follow. And next time he's on, go take a look and tell him that Op9 sent you. And instant friends. Good night, Indy. I was going to use the other parsnip, but I think that's a good amount, and I think I'm just going to go straight to the onion. Pull out a couple little onions. Let's do two. We'll cut the big one first, and then if it's not enough, we'll go ahead and add the second one. So, we're going to nip off the ends of the onion. Now, you can see there's a lot of good stuff there. And since we're going to drain out our onion or our vegetable stock later, we can just pop it right in there. We don't have to worry about anything weird going on there. It's not going to change the flavor or the texture at all because we're going to strain it out really well. And we can use the inside of the onion. If it's just peel, there's not really a lot of flavor in just this peel right here. So that's garbage. But the ends here, plenty of onion still left on that. So I try to get as close as I can to the onion without taking off any of the good stuff. As you can see, sometimes we kind of fail. And then once again, into the stock pot. Wow, did you see that? Did anybody see me just totally whiff that? Good, good, you didn't. I tried to throw it in the stock pot, and I missed. Horribly. Tried to make a long-range shot, and I missed it. Can anybody guess who my favorite basketball team is? Why is that cup in the garbage?
It has a hole in it.
Our cup has a hole in it?
It broke.
Bummer.
See?
We paid $1 for that. Most of our cups come from the Dollar Tree. Because why not? Aside from the CFLs that they put in it. Lakers. Gross. Rockets. I'll give you a couple of guesses. Damian Lillard. CJ McCollum. And it's a thing on my hat.
You're too close to it now.
Golden State Warriors. There it is. Anybody know what that particular emblem is? The Lions. Now you're just Giffy. Go away. No, I love my little whatever the hell you are. Annoying sister I never had. But I do have an annoying sister. Other annoying sister. When are you coming home, by the way? I'll make sure to be out of town. I can't. So, more things for the stock pot. Back to the cutting board over here so I can show you a little bit of quick cutting. We're going to feel this onion here. It's got a little bit of a weird color to it. And I bet on the camera it probably looks like rot. But, no, it actually doesn't look too bad. My hand looks like it's wreathed in blood. Alright, so I'm going to make 2 little cuts. One right here and one right here. That's going to leave our onion looking like this. Then, following the onion, the contours of the onion, I'm going to press down into it. Now, these are cuts that I've done a bajillion times, but so it's easy for me. But for some people, the cuts are more difficult. And so I'm trying to show you guys slowly. See how I turned that so that it has a firmer base for me to go to the sides. So I'm trying to show everybody so that they can get better at their knife cuts. Because after you do that, you can literally just see. Once you've done it enough, you start to get proficient at it. Just like anything else, just like video games, anything that you do. Practice makes perfect. Gonna show it again, slow-mo, one more time. One incision right here. One incision right here. So now the onion is in 3 pieces, and the natural leaves of the onion are going to come apart, and they're going to leave you with this sort of dice. Now, we're using the contour of the onion. Turning it in the middle so that we have a nice flat surface to work on. Just like that. 2 onions, lickety split, no problem. Well, DeBall, there's actually ways that you can improve your knife skills. I'll actually, maybe I'll go over it later on. But you get yourself a couple of big potatoes, and you can actually cut out pieces and work on all of your knife cuts with the potato, and then afterwards you just pop it in and you boil it and you make mashed potatoes with it. So we're not wasting anything. We're getting a lot of practice with the knife. And it's really just about holding it in your hand. Like one of the bigger issues is really how you hold the knife. When you first start out, you'll see people, non-professionals, and even people who are starting out in their professional career, they want to hold their knife like this, with their finger against the back of the knife. Now, the problem with this is if you look at this particular part of your hand, there's not really a lot of stability there. So holding your knife like this will cause your blade to literally move around. We don't want to do that. We want our blade to be as steady as possible, because otherwise we're going to cut our fingers off. So I place my thumb right here against the edge. I place the other one right here against the other side, wrapping around it. And then I place my other fingers on the blade, resting the knife in the center of my hand. This is a very sturdy handhold. See how I can't move it in any direction? It's not going to slip and slide out from under me. And that's how I cut. So when I want to get really close in and I want to do something really fine, really delicate.
Move up a little.
Really fine, really delicate, right? I have this perfect handhold. And I can literally, so what I'm doing is I'm taking my fingers and I'm folding them under. And I'm using that to hold the product. And then I'm going to move it with my thumb. And then you have this fine little brunoise. But the key to becoming good with the knife is the grip. It's all in the grip. And practice. You can't be afraid of the knife either. When you start getting afraid of the knife, you start psyching yourself out. You start psyching yourself out, and then before you know it, you cut yourself. I guess the good thing about these really sharp knives is you can cut the shit out of yourself and you don't even feel it.
Sam Squirrel has a question for you.
Okay.
How to cut the onions without wrecking your eyes?
How do you cut the onions without wrecking? That is an age-old question. And you know, I'm going to be straight with you. There is no way. There are lots of wives' tales. I've heard Mexican housewives that put the top of the onion on top of their head. And supposedly that works. Here's what I can tell you. If you absolutely can't stand cutting onions, you should use goggles. Straight up. We even have goggles in the professional kitchen because some people literally just can't handle it. They literally cannot handle it. Now, what I can tell you about onions and cutting onions and why it sucks is because of some simple chemistry and simple biology. Whoa, we got a follower. Who's our new follower?
Crucius?
Welcome, new follower. There it is. Crucius. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for following. Thanks for following along with us. Right now we're making stock. We're chopping up vegetables. We're talking shop about how to cut and onions. And right now I'm right about to tell you chemically why your eyes sting when you cut onions. And the reason why is because when you cut onions, they release a gas. And this gas by itself is odorless. Well, not odorless. It smells like onions, but it's pretty much not a problem until, of course, it hits salt water. So salt water is, of course, naturally occurring in your eyes. That's what tears are made out of. That's what keeps your eyes lubricated. Now, when the gas from the onion hits the salt water in your eyes, it creates a mild acid. And this acid burns your eyes. So the only really way to get around it, some people, their eyes are drier, or I don't even know. Look at this guy. DeBall actually knows the words. He knows what I'm talking about. So that's good. He's going to come by and help. But that acid burns your eyes slightly. And really the only way around it is goggles. Some people it just doesn't affect them as much. But I'll tell you, like on a day when it's affecting me a lot, you'll hear people in the kitchen say that the onions are very angry that day. But yeah. Muddy. Thanks, Muddy. I just saw you in here. You just used a fan. Now, yeah, we actually, one thing I do know, Muddy, and thanks for bringing that up. So good to see you in the stream, by the way. I hope your streams are going well. I hope you guys are really getting towards affiliate or are real close to it. You guys have been really close to it. You guys are really cool. But actually what we do in the kitchen, if we're having a really big problem with it, is we'll actually move near the hood vents. So the hood vents will suck up the gas before it gets to our eyes. And that usually does help a little bit if it's just overwhelming. But yeah, so kind of like your fan thing. Now, I want to go ahead and turn my stock pot down because I don't want all the liquid to burn out of it or evaporate out of it. So I want to turn it down to just a little bit of a bubble. And the reason why is because I'm going to be adding so much more to this. As a matter of fact, I might even show you a natural bouquet. We'll do that right now. So we have our leftover rosemary, a nice thick sprig of the thyme, and a little bit of the sage. And I'm going to put those all together in a little bundle that the French call a bouquet garni. The bouquet garni is then going to be tied with one of the stems. I'm going to use the stem of thyme because it's the most hardy. The reason why I'm tying it is because I don't want it to just dissipate into the stock. Makes it kind of messy. You can also do this for other soups with say bay leaves or something like that. But see, I don't want to pull it too tight because then it'll break. But luckily, it looks like we got enough in there to keep it together. And that's our little bouquet garni. I'm going to push that back under there and make sure it doesn't get off. So when the time comes for us to pull this out, we can literally just pull the entire thing out. And we won't have to go fishing for it. Pop that right into the stock that we're making. And you can already see there's a golden color kind of forming. If you look underneath where the vegetables are dropping down, you can see a little bit of a gold color. I don't have a white. Well, I guess I do. I guess I'll use this. This is actually not what this thing is for. Hey, Immortal Ninja. One of the warriors. One of my favorite warriors. Now, as you can see, I dropped that in there. And this is the color that we're pulling out. Along the white backdrop. So we know that we're on the right path to making a great stock. Once again, any kind of vegetables you have. Zucchinis, cucumbers, anything like that. Remember though, that the more of a specific vegetable that you add, the more it's going to the stock is going to taste like it. So there are certain things that can take over, like cucumber, not something I would usually recommend, but in small doses it's fine. All these things are going to give up their flavors. Just Fly Reaper, thanks for coming in. Thanks for enjoying the show. I'm glad we're being entertained tonight, and I hope you're learning a lot. And just thanks for showing up. Got a new follower? A cook for Outback Steakhouse. Actually, a couple of my friends work there here in Vancouver, Washington. But how was your night tonight, man? Did you work tonight? MCB, thanks for dropping in. I hope you have a great night. If you're going to go back to streaming, I hope you have a great one. If you're going to go to dreaming, I hope you have a great one. Just Fly Reaper, great. Thank you for the follow. All the lads up in the channel, for sure. Yeah. The coolest thing about this stream that I like is that it actually draws a lot of cooks. It draws a lot of cooks in. So yeah, our night was actually pretty mellow tonight. We were still busy, but way more mellow than Friday. I don't know what it was about Friday, man, but we got our butts kicked. Oh, no work today. You're off on a Saturday, man? Living the dream. All right. I'm going to go ahead and check on our chicken. I think it's been in for probably, what, 30, 35 minutes? I don't have a timer on it. I'm just kind of going. Streaming some PUBG. Yeah. A lot of my friends stream PUBG. I tried to stream it, but I'm really terrible at it. So mostly I just do commentary on PUBG. But I'm glad you came in, and I'm glad your cook homies showed you the way. You know, us cooks, we got to stick together, man. And I'll give you a follow as soon as we get done with the stream so that we can follow you and we can get you hosted, and hopefully we can get everybody in the community up to a point where we can all share in our stuff. Thekus sounds interested. Oh, nice. She's going to add you right now. She's going to follow you right now, buddy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, for me anyway, I felt like that the stream that I did for gaming, Muddy, I feel like, first of all, it was the worst out. What am I trying to say? It was the worst I've done so far, viewership-wise. And I just think nobody's really interested in watching Op9 play video games when they would much rather watch Op9 cook. All right, so here's where we are with the chicken. She's definitely not done, but it's firming up. And
we got a follow on there for you.
All right, we got you followed, Fly Reaper.
It looks like he's streaming you too.
Oh, so he's
Yeah, I'll check it.
Oh, awesome. Fly Reaper, thanks, man. Fly Reaper's hosting me right now. That's awesome. I really appreciate all you guys' help. I really do. Let's get this chicken going. I'm actually going to throw a little bit of coconut oil on it. Just mist it a little bit because I want that chicken to get real crispy. And this is a coconut spray that I got at Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's is an awesome place. I just recently found out. It's been around forever, right? And I just recently found out that it's awesome. So I'm going to throw this back in the oven. It is starting to firm up, and it will be done, by my guess, in about 20 to 25 minutes. IPC! I Paint Creatures is in the house for the first time. Thank you so much for coming and joining us today, man. IPC is one of my very favorite streamers. He is an amazing artist. He has an amazing mind. He is an amazing orator. He's an amazing poet. Definitely. Let's drop him. Let's drop a shout out. And go check him out whenever you get the chance, man. He's one of my favorites. How's it going tonight, IPC? You know, you did inspire Thekus to draw your macaroni creature. I actually saw her draw. She almost never draws. So, IPC, you're doing God's work, man. Or the commies' work. I'm going to go ahead and crank my oven up now to 350. I think that the chicken can handle it. It's not huge. It's not going to be like so... I don't know. There we go. Shout out. Go pick up IPC, man. IPC is he is not quite in our draft class. He's a little bit ahead of us, and he's on the road to partnership and he's real close. So let's help him out as much as we can, guys, because we're all in this together. Okay?
Yeah, we're fine.
Yep. Every time I hear that sound, I'm like, oh, what's breaking now?
Oh no.
All right, so IPC, we got our stock pot going with just vegetables. So it's releasing all that delicious vegetable flavor into the broth. We have our bouquet in there, which is fine herbs, sage, rosemary, and thyme, and celery, parsnips, all different kinds of vegetables in this stock. And you can see that as every minute passes by, it becomes an even nicer golden color. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Once the vegetables give up all of their flavor, we will harvest this liquid. We're also going to add chicken. I know that IPC is more, I think, a vegetarian, and I'm actually planning on doing a vegetarian show dedicated just my vegetarian friends, because we actually have a lot. We have a lot of vegans, we have a lot of vegetarians that come in here and watch, and I really want to make it just so everybody can come and enjoy Op9 food. And I'm sorry I'm not keeping up with the chat. I'm trying to give it a shot.
Crucius actually just said he sent an invite to 100 people.
Crucius, thank you so much, buddy. Wow, 100. That's great. There's some craziness going on outside my window. It's not Melissa. So I got a little bit of minced garlic. I'm going to add that as well to my stock. Garlic and ginger are things that I absolutely love. As a matter of fact, I think we should still have some ginger sitting around, yeah? Or did we get rid of it? There was a couple of big nubs sticking over there.
Oh, you left it out and it was pretty dried out.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, well,
We don't need to add the ginger in there, but it will give it a nice little snap. Giffy's gonna take off. All right, I'll see you at Thanksgiving, you punk. Yeah, I might see you sooner. I hope not. Giffy Gaming, bratty little sister, everyone. Give her a hand. All right, guys, so we're kind of in a holding pattern right now. If you haven't noticed, things are cooking, things are working. So what I plan to do is after the chicken roasts and the bones, we're going to take the meat from the bones. I'm going to show you how to carve. Like I said, you can use that in your turkey carving this holiday season. I'm going to show you how to cleanly cut the pieces off. And then we're going to use the bones. We're going to put them into our vegetable stock and make it a chicken stock. And then with that chicken stock, we'll strain it out. And we're going to add our vegetables. We're going to add the gnocchi in one. And we're going to add the radiatore in the other one. And we're going to make two different versions. One is chicken and potato dumpling, and the other one is chicken and noodle. From home, from scratch. Oh, she's not actually leaving. Did we get another sub? I hear the noise before anything. Sortastic! Thank you so much for subscribing, and welcome, Agent, to the agency. Your operative is so glad to have you here as an agent. And actually, I do have a Discord, and we're going to be setting that up soon, and it's going to be just for agents. So, you will be invited, and all of our other agents. And a follow. Man, it's really rolling tonight. Thank you so much for all the love, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to have an energy drink.
Kamikaze128, thanks for the follow.
Kamikaze, thank you so much for the follow. Every little bit means so much to me. And Thekus. Plus, every time somebody subs, You get to see Thekus be ridiculous. And that makes me happy. So we got this big mountain of vegetables over here, looking beautiful. Now, for those who are just coming in, we have, of course, onion, parsnip, cut in that very interesting cut, which I call a jewel cut or a gem cut. Carrots, also in jewel cut. And beautiful celery cut on a bias. Wow!
Got it.
Double! Nailed that shit. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Debal. Debal, you have just been so great. And I thank you so much for all of the time that you put into this stream. And now subbing, you didn't have to, buddy. You were already an agent from the very beginning. Okay. So, a couple more minutes. We'll go ahead and play around and chat. Gotta get in on that Discord. Of course, man. You know, like I said, you've always been an agent. You can always get in on the Discord. If you open Discord, I have... Okay. Thekus is going to take off for a sec. She's got to use the ladies' room. But I'm going to go over and take over her command center. And I'm going to show you guys how to get into Discord. I'm going to send each and every one of you a secret message that will allow you to get into the agency. All right. Let's play. Just Fly Reaper. That's a super cool little background thing you got going on there. The ball. It's so weird because on my screen, your names show up differently than they do on Thekus' screen. Different name colors and just basically different stuff. So I'm gonna pull up the Discord. However I get to that.
Hi guys.
Invited codes. If you link your Discord with your Twitch account, it will. People who are subbed to the channel will see the Discord in their account settings and be able to join it. Huh. Link my Discord with my Twitch account. Okay, I'm going to try and do that then. I will always take the advice of the Technomancer Duvall. I'm assuming that that's in dashboard. Okay, we're in the dashboard. Events, stats, revenue, permissions perhaps? Just go to your user settings and then go to the connections tab. And do it in Discord. Okay. So we'll open up Discord. Assuming I can find it in all this mess. Discord, there it is. Oh, there was the damn button the whole time. Thekus' command center is pretty impressive. Not as impressive as Debal's, by the way. I don't know if y'all have seen Debal's setup, but it is so pretty. Okay. Now, to be honest with you, I don't really use Discord all that much, except for when playing with friends. So it's going to take me a second to kind of find where everything is. I think I'm just going to click on my face down here. Online, no, that's not it. Direct messages. Streamer mode is enabled. Stay safe, friend. What does that mean? There we go. Find some Discord pals. Stream League of Legends, Steam, or Facebook. Nah.
Okay. User settings, go to the connections tab.
Which is where? Sorry about that, guys. I'm kind of. There it is. Got it. And then what did it say?
Connections.
Authorized apps, maybe? No. Connections. There we go. Op9 display on profile. Okay, so it says that it's already connected via Op9's account name. So all right, thanks to Ball. So according to my Discord, it says that I already have my account linked to it. So I don't know how you guys would join. Not 100% sure on that one. I probably did do it to join the Warriors Discord. But we'll get that all figured out. I do have a Discord, and it is called The Agency, and I will definitely make sure every one of our new agents manages to get in there. The Agency. So far, the only one in there is Shiv, which has been invited. To this server by clicking the share button when you're ready. Oh, okay.
So DeBall says, so now people just need to link their Twitch accounts to their Discord, and then the sub-enabled servers will show up underneath and they can join.
Okay. So that was easy to take care of, I suppose. We're going to go ahead and check the chicken again, which should be just about done. We're going to give Thekus her command center back. She's getting antsy. All right. There's Thekus. Sneak peek is of the Thekus. All right. So our chicken is getting real close. I'm not really too concerned about it being all the way cooked because we're actually going to be cutting it up and putting it in a soup. So it's going to get cooked by the stock. But I'm going to go ahead. I want to make sure that the skin is nice. Go ahead and throw it on broil. And get the skin really nice and crispy. And if it's not cooked all the way, don't worry. Don't freak out. It's going to get cooked in the stock. But here is the tip for actually what time you should pull out your poultry. And it is at 155 degrees, as I've mentioned before. 165, I think, is the official food, what is it? Health department. This is the official health department thing, is 165 degrees. Now, if you know food, you know that at 165 degrees, you're basically done. Anything beyond that, it's just getting more and more cooked, especially with meat. Like, let's say medium rare, for example, at 115 degrees on a steak. It means that it's cooked all the way around except for in the middle. You locked yourself... Giffy locked herself out of a room.
Let's get some lab coats for Giffy.
Let's get lab coats for Giffy stuck out of her room. I'll be right there. Thekus puts the lab coats in. Those are Warriors, the Warriors lab coats.
For now.
Okay. I want to give you guys another peek at how our stock is holding up. Oh, yeah. It's getting nice and dark now. I can't really get a good spoonful of it, mostly because this spoon is not made for that. It's actually made to hold other spoons, like right here, which actually might be a good idea. Oh, it needs to be a white one, I think. It needs to be a white one. Just so they can see the color. Because the color is actually, it's actually transparent. Or pretty much transparent right now. Well, that's a good one. Thika's coming through with the Cutco ladle. I got this from my mom when I moved out when I was 17. Geffy's good now. Did you go check the front desk? Maybe they could help you in. Any ideas for my first emote? You know, when I'm in the car, when I'm driving around, I always get the best ideas. And then by the time I actually get here, and I get put on the spot, or you're not putting me on the spot, but Thegus is right. A chef coat would be super awesome. But I think maybe a chef coat with just the hat outline and the glasses would be pretty cool too. But that might be a little bit much. Maybe just the chef coat would be good. I also don't want to bite my man Young Warrior either though, so who knows? The possibilities are endless. Maybe it could just be a picture of me making a dumb face like. Or
a note of me falling down in the panda onesie.
Or Thekus with the panda onesie on, which seems to be pretty popular tonight. That's it. What's that? What's it? Sork, what's the first emote? Hat and glasses for sure. That, and I wear this not this specific hat, but something a lot like it at work. And I always wear the glasses. So yeah, it is kind of like a moniker, I suppose. The face, someone screen it. Yeah. Poking it. So, now I got my broiler on. Turn on my light. You can kind of see what's going on there. It's browning very quickly now. I'm basically forcing it to kind of brown now because I really put the broiler on, turned the heat on. Now the broiler sits in the oven at about 525 degrees, which is about the maximum that your oven will do. I think this one goes up to 600, but why would you ever want to go to 600 in a home stove? I can hear it screaming. It's playing a nice little song. Piping hot. And you can see how just like that, I mean, they can't see, but Thekus is looking at it right now, and she can see how just like that, it's already starting to brown, starting to get colored, and it's starting to look amazing, honestly.
You got a follow, by the way.
We got another follow?
Zeppelin21?
Zeppelin21. Thank you very much for coming in. Thank you very much for watching, and thank you even more for following. We got a lot of good people in here. We got a very nice positive attitude in here. And I'm trying to impart a lot of wisdom, a lot of my wisdom, after 17 years of being a professional chef, to impart a lot of my wisdom into your daily cooking and show you how fun and easy it can be. I mean, after 9, 10, 11 hours of working, I come in here and I have fun still cooking. Gross. Gross. Well, you come on home, kid. We'll get you the chicken soup. We'll get you better. All right. So we've actually got some plans in the works to record, write and record some little skits for you guys, because I know during parts like this it can get a little bit boring, just looking at your boy talking about whatever, and watching soup get made. So we're actually thinking about doing little shorts like the origin of Operative 9. We've been talking about that. Thekus likes that idea a lot. We've been thinking about doing...
Look what Duvall did for you.
Duvall, that's a perfect face. Good one. Maybe that might be it. Okay, that's saying that our oven is now at 525 degrees, which is really hot for that chicken. So we're going to make sure that it's not burning, that it's turning golden brown. I'm going to turn it a lot. I'm going to make sure that the radiant heat from the top of the oven is getting in all the places that we want it to. Now, by all means, if you wanted to cook this chicken and slice it up and eat it, that would be a perfectly acceptable way to do that. You can cook these vegetables on a saute pan with a little bit of salt, butter, and pepper, and maybe get yourself some mashed potatoes or some delicious rice, and you can eat it just like that. And that sounds pretty good. Does that sound pretty good for a nice dinner? Yeah, right? But we're going to go a step further. We're going to go into what you can do the next day. And the next day. We're going to make soup. We're going to make stocks. Now, you can actually take this stock and you can put it into one of these cool little ice trays, right? One of these cheapy little dollar ice trays, preferably without the ice in it. But you can take your stock after it's cooled a little bit and ladle it into one of these ice trays and freeze it. And then you'll have little ice cubes of stock that you can literally throw into anything. You can even use these ones, which are Avengers themed ones we got in the loot crate. So you can throw in a Thing or a Captain America, which is just the shield for Captain America, by the way, not his face. Or a fist. You can fist some stock into your soups on a daily basis. Okay. Oh yeah. This chicken is really starting to get beautiful. And I'm about to pull it out, about to do the big reveal, so you guys can see how pretty this thing is going to get. Stock pot's boiling away. It's looking great. Now, you can tell when you're starting to get really well off because all of the vegetables in the stock will stop floating and start sinking to the bottom. And look at the clarity and beauty of this stock. Super clear, super pretty, super nice stock. Let me tell you, all that steam coming up there, that's going to help your cough out a whole bunch, Giffy. Now, I am forever going to be cautious of these damned glass things. So what I'm going to do is when I go to put it down, I'm going to put an oven mitt on it because I do not want it to touch anything that might be a ridiculous temperature difference. Because now this is a sad, sad tale that I do not like to recant. Giffy was there. She made fun of me the entire night. But I made a delicious bread pudding. A bread pudding that was made from wild, local chanterelle mushrooms, rosemary, sausage that I had actually made myself. And I put it into a new Chinese-made Pyrex. Pyrex, by the way, is not owned by the people it was once owned by. It's now owned by a Chinese factory. And the Chinese factory does not use the same kind of glass in their Pyrexes. So, I took out this delicious bread pudding. Delicious bread pudding. And I put it onto a counter. Not a glass surface, not a hot surface, not even a cold surface. The temperature wasn't even that extreme. I had it sitting next to all of my delicious Thanksgiving food almost 1 year ago today. And it promptly exploded. Glass everywhere. Glass got into a good portion of my food. Glass completely ruining that expensive, luxurious, delicious bread pudding. It was tragic. So, we don't take chances anymore. We don't take risks with these glass dishes that I once used to think were ironclad and invincible. They're not. So, watch yourself. Make sure that you're not putting this on any surface that doesn't absorb heat. Shrooms, yes. Wild chanterelle mushrooms. They grow out here. Really easy to find. Along with a lot of choice other mushrooms. Morels, psilocybin. Yeah, lots and lots of different kinds of mushrooms grow out here in the great Pacific Northwest. So, there's our chicken. Pulled out. Skin crispy. Nice and brown. Golden. I'll give you a little close-up. Now, you can see right here that the juices there are not running clear out of the cavity. Which means that it's probably not cooked all the way. But like I said, we're actually going to take out the bones, and we're going to continue to cook this all the way. But with the aid of the broiler, we've got it a delicious color. Our herbs are not burnt. I think we're doing pretty well. So I'm going to let that cool off just a little bit. And I'm going to move it over to our board. So that means I got to get the vegetables off there. And I'm going to move it over to our board, and I'm going to show you how to break this chicken down. So we'll grab a bowl. We'll get these vegetables out of the way. We got a bowl. We're going to put the veggies in it. Veggies in the bowl, veggies in the bowl.
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 You like that? We just wrote that for you. Okay, little chicken. Now, the easiest way to pull a small chicken out of a pan is to insert your knife into the cavity. The cavity being empty. Grab the handle firmly. Let's make sure everybody can see just right. Grab the handle firmly and press it into the front and lift the chicken. It should loosen from the bottom of the pan. Then you're going to take a towel or whatever to keep it on. And you're just going to lift it like so. Juice and blood is going to come out if it's undercooked, which it shouldn't be, but show and timing is a thing. And we're just going to lift that, and we're going to take it right over to the cutting board, which we are going to begin to carve now. Now we have our delicious chicken. Here we are. Look at that pretty little guy. See all that red on there? It's not supposed to be there. It's supposed to be golden brown. But we're having some problems with our camera. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert down the center of our chicken. And you're going to feel in there a bone. And that's what's called the keel bone. Now, I'm going to turn the knife slightly inward. Now remember, this is going to work for turkey too. So when your family is like all together and you're at the head of the table with your knife, you're going to be able to do this and impress them all. So what I'm going to do is I've got that keel bone exposed. Now I'm going to take this right here and run it along. Now, as we go in here, you're going to see a little membrane. This membrane is literally just a membrane. It hooks all the way down to the bottom here to a little bone. Now, this is piping hot, so if you don't have chef hands, it might not be the best idea to just go into it head on. But we're going to go ahead and cut right in there. And you see I made that incision, and there's a joint right there. That joint is your drumstick. Now, we're going to do it 2 times just so you can see. I'm going to move it to the side. I'm going to pull away, and you'll just get a feel from where it's at. It's going to want to pull away anyway. Right through the joint, right there. and your second drumstick. Now, the thighs we can deal with pretty much in the same way. I'm going to clear away where I want my thigh to be. Now you can see this chicken is a little bit underdone, but you don't want, when you poke into your chicken, you don't want, or your turkey, you don't want there to be any fluid coming out of it that isn't clear. That means that it's not really cooked all the way. So normally I would throw this back in and I would temperature, use my thermometer to make sure that the temperature is 155. But now you're going to move along the keel bone. You'll feel it. I'm actually leaving a little bit of meat there, which I don't want to do. But you're going to feel this keel bone all the way down. All the way down. Now, it's a little bit hot, so I'm going to use a towel so that I don't burn my hands. But along there's going to be a long bone that sticks out. This bone right here. We don't want to include that into our breast. So we're going to continue to run along the side here. And this front bone right here that I'm running into, that is the wishbone. So, obviously, if the tradition in your turkey family is to keep the wishbone, you don't want to cut into that particular one. Now, I'm just rolling this chicken breast out. And you can see how juicy it is. Not because it's undercooked, per se, but just because of the way that we cooked it. It allowed all the juice to stay in. And that breast is pretty much cooked. We want to keep all of our delicious skin right here, right? This delicious skin is going to add tons of flavor to our chicken stock. IPC, thanks for dropping in. Open the Creature Shop, and I will definitely be in there later. One of my favorite after-stream places to go. IPC. Everybody, hit them up. Thank you so much, agents, for being so kind to some of my favorites. Okay, now that it's cooled down a little bit, I pulled it away. I pulled away the thigh, and there's a bone exposed. See that bone right there? That's the only thing that's holding this thigh to the carcass. Now we have a thigh. I'm going to run my blade along the thigh. Right? It's warm. If it's too warm, you can use a towel. I'm going to use it right along there, and I'm going to kind of cut along here to expose that bone. This is all flavor. This is all meat that is usable. So I'm going to continue to keep that. Any of the skin, we're going to throw that directly into the stock pot. Now, once we go along the bone,
why don't we put it under the stove cam for a sec?
The stove cam's a little hot, but I'll give it a shot.
I was thinking of just holding the cutting board. You can show them just because the color is off. And
it's looking a little red.
Yeah.
So, like I say, don't freak out, guys. Don't freak out, guys. She's not raw. She's not going to kill us. See if I can move it over here, but we're in dangerous territory, man.
Well, I was thinking for just a sec or two, just to
oh
show
yeah.
them.
So you can see all those juices, and that's why that little lip there at the end is so nice. Catches the juices so they don't go spilling all over the place. There's our chicken. Yeah. So we're going to continue to dissect it now that we've had a good look at it. Divided reality. Thank you so much. It's really that easy, guys. It's not a we didn't do a lot of prep for this. We went out, we bought it, we olive oiled it, we put the seasonings on it, and we just cooked it, man. And we could have cooked it a little bit longer, but because of the show, I don't want to have us just sitting around doing nothing. So we're gonna get to work on our soup for sure. But this thing does need to go in a little bit longer if you're going to eat it just like roasted chicken. Now, once again, there's a bone right here that we're just going to slide our knife along and pop it off. And we're going to keep sliding along the keel bone, and you want to keep feeling that against your blade. As long as you feel that against your blade, it's like a little guide that will get it off there. So we're going down along the carcass. This side, literally all we had to do was allow it to carry over. Because the carryover heat of this has definitely continued to cook the chicken. And this side, you can see, is almost completely cooked. Where the other side, when we first cut in, wasn't quite all the way done. Carryover temperature, as I've mentioned in earlier episodes, is a 10-degree temperature difference for meat and other vegetables, or other things like vegetables, that occurs after you cook it. After you cook it and you take it out of the heat, it still continues to cook. A7G7 in the house. Hey, everybody. A7, Hopan, he's a great moderator in Hopan's chat, and just an all-around good guy. I've known A7 for just about as long as I have been on Twitch. And we've been through some crazy times together over there on Hopan's stream. You can go check out the Hopan show when you get the chance. And A7 is almost always there, willing to talk. This is the chicken bone from the thigh. Still got a little bit of meat on it, but that's okay. That's going to add flavor to our stock. It's going to go directly into the stock. So now we are one thigh down on this side. This chicken skin looks beautiful. And it's crispy. You can hear it crisp. Crispy chicken skin. Good and crispy. Thank you, Nightbot. Thank you, Thekus, for giving our brother Hopan that shout out. Okay, now chicken wings, depending on how you like them or what you want to do with them, I almost always take off this little bit at the end. And you can see how I pulled it open. When I pulled it open like that, it exposed the joint and I just popped it right off. And that's going to go directly into my stock. This chicken wing right here, I'm literally just going to take my hands and squish it. And I can feel the two bones in there. And I'm just going to pop them right out. There's bone 1. There's bone 2. Right into the stock. Now, this chicken meat, I'm going to take the skin off because I don't know about you. Thekus probably doesn't mind so much. But I don't like getting a fat glob of fat or skin in my soup. So I use the flavor of that to flavor my soup. And I leave the actual down and dirty out of the finished product. I'm pulling this bone away. It's going to sever that. That's also going to go into the stock pot. We're going to use every single little bit of our chicken that we can. Now, we got a couple little pieces over here that we can deal with. Now, you can see I didn't do a very good job with this particular knife. I usually use a more precision knife for this. But I got going on with this knife and I just didn't turn it around for some reason. This part up here is the turkey neck, or chicken neck. Now, the chicken neck is good. It's got meat on it. It's difficult to get around there and eat it. But since it's got meat on it and it's got bones, it's also perfect for our stock. That's going to drop in there as well. I'm going to get this other wing off. I just cut down right where the fold is. The natural fold of where the chicken wing is. I twist it a little bit. And right there, this gleaming white bone is exposed. And there you go. Just a simple, easy cut, just like that. I'm going to take the meat off. And I bet you can guess where this bone's going. Yep, into the stock. Pull this end off. Pull this skin off with all of this delicious, delicious herbage. Now, once again, we have this guy. And I can literally just squish it and clean the bones right off. Squish this one. The other bone, clean as a whistle. Now, I'm going to take the skin and the extra fat that goes around the outside of the wing. Pull that off. There's also a little piece of cartilage in here if you're not into that. That can go in the stock as well. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here, man. We're running out of chicken. Here's another nice piece of fat. Fat, as we all know, equals flavored. Now, the other thing about chicken fat is that they think that the reason why chicken soup makes you feel better is because the chicken fat is high in a lot of amino acids, and it's just a really healthy fat for you while you're trying to get better. Look at this itty bitty, tiny baby wishbone. This little bitty wishbone. We're going to clear that off. And as is tradition in my home, we're going to save it. We're going to dry it out. And we're going to make a little wish on it. So far, Thegus and I have come across 2 ones that we have saved. And so far, I think my wish is kind of starting to come true. I won one, and Thegus won the other one. So I don't know what Thegus' wish is, and I can't find out.
Actually, it was a tie. One of them was a tie.
Was it?
We split one exactly right down the middle.
Yeah. So all we got left is this carcass, man. There's some meat on it that we pull off. Down here, all this skin and fat. We're going to pull that all off. We're going to use that for stock, every last bit. As Sans Perel says, that's their type of cooking. And that's our kind of cooking too. We're going to go and run our knife along like a bias here. Or not a bias, but along like the natural line of the chicken. And you're going to feel ribs. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut down along those ribs. And there's a fancy little piece of meat right here that in the culinary world is called the oyster. And this one looks like it's already been cut. There it is. It's a fancy little super extra soft piece of meat that we definitely want to keep in there. But I'm just going to run my knife around. All right down this thing. And don't get too squeamish about, squishy, slimy, fatty chicken. Don't get too squeamish about it. Get your hands in there. And if you absolutely are completely weirded out by it, you can grab some gloves and go to town on your chicken, because that is the best way to really get in there and get all of the good pieces of meat and everything else out of there. Cooking should be a very tactile thing. You should be able to touch it and feel it and do all the other things that you need to do to get the perfect little bits out. Now you can see this is the other thigh, and I'm just exposing that bone in there, peeling away the meat, which I'm leaving over here in a nice little pile. And I got some cartilage there, which is perfect for flavoring. Pop that into my stock as well. And right now, what we have left is a pretty well picked carcass. Aside from, of course, there's some meat on there. And that meat is going to go and help to flavor our stock. Along with this entire carcass. Look, see here? If you can look in there, these little guys right here, these are chicken kidneys. 2 little kidneys. Kind of gory for some, I know, but we're tough here. We're agents. We've seen it all. The carnage of it pulling apart a chicken is not going to make us queasy. No way, no how. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the skin off of this guy. Pop that in the stock as well. I can hear Thekus literally getting squeamish over there, worried that she might not get a piece of this chicken skin. But she's going to get some. Thekus loves that chicken skin. So, another important thing. Let's go ahead and pop over to the oven cam for a sec. Stove cam. How's that chicken skin?
Delicious.
She agrees. She likes it. Okay. So, now we're popped over here onto our oven cam. And let's see what we're working on here. See if we can't move this guy just a tad. So, our beautiful vegetable stock has become an even more beautiful, in my opinion, chicken stock. all of the pieces that we weren't going to eat directly have gone into the stock, carcass and all. And there's another important thing that you should always remember. Our fat that we got from this Pyrex. We're going to go ahead and just put that right in. All right? All of the chicken juices and the skin and all of the deliciousness from roasting, it's going to go right in there. It's in there. Now, this already, without any of the additives, is kind of like soup. Not a very fun soup to eat yet, but it's full of bones and it's full of nutrition. The marrow, as well, from the bones and the nutrients that come out of the bones are also going to help you when you're sick as well. There's lots of nutrients. It's very healthy for you. If you're not into chicken and whatnot, also the vegetables that we use here and the vegetables that we put into our stock are also packed with vitamins. I'm going to take, let's see, how is this? This is 100% cooked. And I know that Thecus is starving. What do you say? What do you say? Do you think we should give Thecus this little guy? I've checked him out. He's good to go. He's all the way cooked. Salted, ready to go. We got a new follow. Who's our follow?
Winged Cheshire?
Let's see it come up there. Winged Chessard. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to Roasted Chicken Night. We're also doing a chicken stock. We're going to do a chicken soup. It's going to be delicious. It's going to be healthy. It's going to fill our hearts and our souls and our bellies on this cold night. But this one right here, this little drum right here, goes to my girl, Thecus. She's the one controlling it over there. So, here we go. Here is your chicken drum. I just handed it to her like a Viking. Eat food. Here's your little plate. All right. So, it got a little messy there. A lot of times, when I make a roast chicken, I clean the carcass like that and then bag and freeze it, along with leftover bits of veggies that I've frozen to make a soup at a later date. Got little bags of chicken parts from the inside of the chicken, like the neck, heart, etc., for the same purpose. Now, it's a good thing that you mentioned that, because we do have all of the offal that we're going to put in to our chicken stock as well. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crank that, get it back to a boil, get the flavor out of the bones. Sans pareo. You have the heart of a true chef. You know how to really get the most out of every little bit. And let me tell you, that is the way to live. So, once I get that back up and rolling, I can hear Thecus over there tearing into that skin. How does it taste, Thecus?
Fantastic.
She really likes it. That's good. That's good. That makes my life easy. When Thecus is well fed, my life gets much easier.
Chicken.
We're going to pull... Well, you know what? Why don't you eat this other little guy, too? She's real hungry. She's been working hard all day trying to get the stream set up for me, and I am so appreciative. We're not going to make her wait for soup. Nah. We're going to feed her the little drums, give her something to be held over. Mainly out of frugality, and it's got a lot of benefits. It does have a lot of benefits to your wallet, to your health, and kind of to your mindset. I feel like when I'm using all of the pieces of a product, including, the harsh reality of what we're doing here is that we are cooking a living creature. And I think that it's our duty as meat eaters, as humans, to respect every bit of our dinner because a life was taken to feed us today. And it is only our duty to honor that life by using every last bit. That's what Op9 thinks anyway. All right. Stock pot is getting heated up. Now, I'm going to go over here to the cutting board. And I'm going to start getting the chicken into nice little bite-sized pieces. You can see some of the herbs have stayed on the board, which is just fine by me. The carryover temperature has actually cooked this chicken all the way through now. Carryover is a crazy, crazy thing. Carryover can literally take your food, your beautiful steak, from being perfectly medium rare to 8 to 10 minutes later, being medium well. So a lot of times, professionals will actually take out the meat early, and they will rest it, so that the blood and the juice kind of moves back out. That is a Discord. Probably one of our many friends and affiliates having a chat in their Discord.
What was Duvall?
Oh, the ball, straight up in the Discord. Alright. So, all of our little chicken parts, all of our herbs, all that other stuff. We're going to chop it up into pieces that we can manage. And once our stock is all the way cooked, and we got all the goodness out of the bones and the skin and everything else, that's when we're going to start building our soup. Alright. Now, I'm going pretty slow. I'm talking. My dog is hacking on something over there. Kiba. The Kiba cam. So, anyway. I'm going pretty slow with this, honestly. So I'm going pretty slow with this. I can actually go a lot quicker. And once everybody knows what they're doing, you can bang this soup out in about, 45 minutes. That's not with cooking the chicken, of course. The chicken is something that you eat the night before. You save all the little parts. And you can make this soup. And you can do the stock. You can start it from the ground up. And you can get it finished in about 45 minutes. That's from all the way to a boil with everything on it, and to your table, 45 minutes. But this show is all about learning, and that's why we move a little bit slower. Some people are at different levels in their knowledge of things, and I want to that's part of one of my main missions is to kind of educate about the little things that people don't understand about food, the little interesting things that people don't understand about food, and sort of enlighten. All right, we're getting to the point where stirring with a knife is not going to be viable anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and grab me a spoon. So I want to mix it up. And the reason why is because it's kind of taking and getting the heat onto the chicken bones and releasing the nutrients from within as well as the flavor. Now when that carcass starts to fall apart, you're good. But since we're kind of, I don't want to keep you guys too long. We're probably not going to cook the chicken stock as hard as we normally would. Chicken stock can go anywhere from 45 minutes at the exact fastest to days. Sometimes chefs will leave huge stock pots to boil or to simmer for days. It never gets below 212 degrees, or just slightly below 212 degrees, but it never gets below 138 degrees, which, as we know, is the very end of the temperature danger zone. A little bit about the temperature danger zone for people who aren't in the restaurant industry and aren't in the food service industry. 40 degrees and below is an acceptable range to store food. So 40 degrees Fahrenheit and below is an acceptable refrigeration range. Anything above 40 degrees and below 138, it used to be 140. 40 to 140, easy to remember. They decided that it should be 138. So now it's 40 to 138 degrees. Anywhere in between those two numbers is the temperature danger zone. That is when dangerous bacteria can grow inside of your food. So we always want to keep our food either at, well, okay, so a caveat to that is you can take up to 3 hours to go from either 40 or to 138. So we definitely want to get our food out of the danger zone as quick as possible. So we learned today 40 degrees, 138 degrees, temperature danger zone. So, well, naturally, when you're simmering a stock pot, it's probably not going to get any lower than just under a boil. And we know that adjusting slightly for different climates, water boils at approximately 212 to 214 degrees, depending upon where you are altitude-wise. So, as long as we keep it up at just below boiling, our stock will continue to work. And chefs do that, sometimes up to 2 days. Do you ever add a splash of vinegar to your broth? I haven't done that, but I could see how it could work. And there are a couple different broths that might be amazing with a little bit of vinegar, and definitely different kinds of vinegars that would work well. In this one, I would probably go for just a slight bit of white balsamic. Would be great. Apple cider vinegar even. And apple cider vinegar is also very healthy for you. But I haven't actually tried a splash of vinegar in any of my broths. Maybe, just maybe, one of our fine agents has given the operative an idea to try. And even when I'm at work, I do still experiment with food a lot. Actually, I just came up with a recipe for a pumpkin cheesecake. It's kind of like partially pumpkin pie, partially cheesecake. It's got a graham cracker and ginger snap crust, and it's perfect for autumn. And I just kind of mixed the two worlds together. Yeah, you definitely don't want a whole lot of vinegar in a broth, or it'll just kind of take over. Vinegar takes over in a lot of things, but yeah, I get you. A couple little drops here and there. I do add hot sauces to broths, and that does have a little bit of vinegar in it, like Tapatio or crystals or anything like that. That is, it does have a vinegar to it as well. And the reason why you do that is probably the same reason why you add your vinegar, because vinegar is a natural enemy of fat. It actually cuts fat, and when you eat something that's a high fat quantity, sorry, it's been a long day. The fat actually coats your tongue, and it allows you to taste it less. Your taste buds get coated with the fat, and they can't taste the other flavors as much. So the vinegar actually cuts the fat and allows you to taste things all that much better. So we use a little bit of hot sauce. Sans uses a little bit of vinegar, but I think we're kind of on the same page there. Yeah, hot sauces especially I add during when I'm cooking chowders. Definitely chowders. New England style chowders. I will actually. I almost always add hot sauce to New England style chowders because that's a really high fat quantity soup. It's actually a stew, but you know what I'm saying. Now we're gonna look at our sachet there. Or sorry, not sachet, but look what we got left. It's given up everything. All that's left is a little stem. Our rosemary, pretty much the same. So, we've been working this chicken stock very well. We got it up to a nice boil. And I think it's time for us to finally strain it out. Now, famously, one of my dishwashers, long ago, I asked him to strain out the stock. And he was new. He was new to the culinary world. He was new to a lot of things. And I asked him to go strain out the stock. And he came back around the corner and he's like, okay, I did it. What do you want me to do with this stuff? And I look in the pot, and all that is left is the cashed out vegetables and bones. And I was like, well, what did you do with it? And he's like, what do you mean? It's right here. What he had done was he had actually dropped all of the stock that had taken so long for us to make and poured it down the drain because he thought that's not what we wanted. So we spent all that time cooking stock, and our dishwasher, whom I definitely learned patience with, had poured it all away. So over the sink here, that's one of my favorite emotes, by the way. I also love the one with the lady who's like really pissed off and she's like, and then she's like throwing a table. And they're two different emotes, by the way. You got to do them both at the same time. We got it up to a rolling boil now, and that is pretty much where we want it when we're going to go ahead and strain it off. Whoops. The little strainer doesn't want to sit there very well. So I'm going to have to do a little slower. Sorry about the strange camera angle. I don't have a sink cam, and honestly, I don't really think I want one. What goes on at the sink, you don't really need to see it. There we go. I love that one. Flipping the table. Good to see you again, Del Glad. Doing a bit of lurking this evening. What else are you up to? You working tonight? Huh. Okay. So I just found out. Sarsaparilla is a very, very old and dear friend of mine. Wasn't 100% sure who you guys were. Well, except for Del Glad. Del Glad has had the same handle since Ultima Online. Man, don't you wish you could go back to those days? I really miss Ultima Online. Did you just cool story Bob me, Thekus?
Yeah.
Thekus just found the emotes. Alright, so I've strained the stock once. I'm going to clear out the pan a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and strain it back into the pan. Straining it twice is really going to help us get out any of that weird shit that we don't want. There can be some funkies that show up in your stock occasionally. We do have, cartilage and bone and all this other stuff working in there. The ball, that particular one I don't think I've seen you use before, but the other guy with the guy eating the whole chicken with the beard, that seems to be one of your favorites. Which, by the way, I just hit my hat on the damn thing. Which, by the way, is basically, without the beard, what Thekus looks like when you give her a piece of chicken. She likes her chicken. Yeah, that one. Minus the beard, that's pretty much what it looks like.
Real footage of me.
All right, we're back. We now have the stock completely strained out. All the nasty bits are out of it. And you can see you have this beautiful, clean soup. Now, the fat has remained, and that's just fine. Because as I mentioned before, the fat actually has some health benefits to it. Now, we actually have a couple of health professionals in the chat with us right now. And a lot of people will tell you that fat is not good for you. It's bad for you. It clogs up your arteries and stuff. Now, I will admit to this, that animal fat is not the best kind of fat. Just grin. Welcome back to the stage of champions or history. Yeah, welcome back to the stage of history. It's been a long time since I played that game. What was that, Soul Blade? Soul Blade, I think that was. Way back on the old PlayStation 1. PlayStation. So I've added all the chicken in. You can see that floating around in our stock now. Which is now officially a soup, by the way. We've added the chicken. We're going to add the vegetables. We're going to turn this all the way off. I'm going to keep it on about medium. And I want to cook soup officially. All of our vegetables are going to go in. So anyway, what I was saying about fats. Some fats are actually good for you. Medium chain triglycerides, or MCT, as they like to call it nowadays. I've got to move this mic. MCT, as we call it nowadays, is definitely a good fat for you. It's good for your heart, good for your brain. And while animal fats are not the best fats for us, they do contain some good properties that have specific benefits to make you feel better. And that is why chicken soup always makes us feel better when we're sick. Now, I haven't decided what I want to do with this big old pot of soup yet. I know that I need to break it into two. We know that. Because we're going to do the potato dumplings in one, and we're going to do the radiators in the other. So I'm going to get another pot, and I'm going to try and separate it evenly. And we're going to do the two simultaneously. Because I know you guys have been in here for a while. Some of you have been in here since the start. And, you know, what are we going on?
2.5 hours.
We're going on 2.5 hours already. So by most streamer standards, that would be like just getting warmed up. We're right in the groove. But old Op9 is an old man.
Can I do hashtag time?
It is
No.
uptime.
Uptime.
Exclamation point, uptime. There we go, 2 hours and 25 minutes. The ball beating you to it. The ball beats people to a lot of things. The ball's the speed demon. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and just dip right into that. Get out the goods. Transfer to the other side. I actually kind of like this one better for visibility. You can really see what's in there. Okay, we don't want to take out all the chunks. Right, we can hear it starting to bubble up now. It's getting serious. Getting serious, ladies and gentlemen. Turn off my oven light. Turn off my oven. We're done there. Now, I'm going to let the soups get up to a nice boil. Not a rolling boil, but, you know, a mellow boil. And once we do that, we're going to add in the radiators. we're going to add in some flavor that's not added by the soup. Going to add a little bit more garlic because it's garlic. We love garlic. Garlic loves us. Also, great for our health. 2 more nice fat spoons of garlic in each one. Garlic, if you didn't know, among the ancient Druids in Britain, it was considered a magical regent. Regent? Magic. So, it was considered a magical ingredient. It is, we know, good for your health. It actually is good for your cholesterol. It cleans out your blood. If you eat it on a regular basis, it's definitely going to have good health benefits for you. Not going to be so good on your love life. Unless she likes garlic too. Or he. A watch pot never boils. But I wish that one would hurry up. I'm going to go ahead and, since we have some time, I'm going to go ahead and clean up a little bit. I'm going to hit my head on the mic for the 800th time. And I'm going to go clean up. So this guy can move a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and move it just a little bit. So you can keep looking at me while I'm washing the dishes. Thecus. Why are you squirming? Can you see Thecus down there?
Yeah, kind of. You could, until I moved out of the way.
Kind of. Don't be a wuss. You're a celebrity now. You're a celebrity Twitch person. Alright. So, the biggest problem that I've been having with my stream of late is really what to stream. What are we going to cook next? So I'm going to pose it to you guys, especially our lovely, full-fledged agents. What would you like to see cooked next? I'm going to leave it up to you guys. And we'll pick one. And we'll go ahead and do it in the next stream. Today's Saturday. So, this is our last stream of the week. We won't see you guys again until Tuesday. And we're actually going to push the hours back a little bit. Seemed like last time a lot of people were still at work. And it was kind of hard for them to get on and join us. So yeah, whatever you guys can imagine. Whatever kind of food there is under the sun, assuming that I can get it, assuming that it isn't way too expensive, because remember, all of this stuff, all of it, comes out of pocket. So, all the food we cook. Of course, we get to eat it, so that's the upside. But assuming you don't want lobster and filet mignon, we can definitely accommodate whatever you guys want to eat or want to see made. Maybe filet might actually be a good thing. I can actually show you guys how to break a tenderloin down, how to get stew meat out of it, how to get everything that you can possibly want out of it. Gold, luxury cars, all the things you can get out of a tenderloin. Fame, fortune, you want that? Tenderloin. That's why it costs like $18 a pound. Alright, cutting board is washed and sanitized. I'm going to leave it out to dry. Okay. Thecus is not one for the spotlight. Unless she's wearing her onesie, of course. Is there anything, Sork, that you have always wanted to make, but you were afraid you wouldn't know how to do it? By the way, our soup is boiling now, which means we can start putting additives. Okay. Now, start with the radiators. I'm going to do that in this one. Choosing completely at random. You can do it in any kind of pot you need. I put a good amount in there. Now the cool thing about pastas is that they're going to thicken your soup a little bit. We're probably going to end up doing a slurry because I like my soups to be a little bit thicker. Oh, I almost forgot about the cilantro. Cilantro is also another thing that's really healthy for you. Contains a lot of essential vitamins, and it's just really good for you. You can do some research on your vitamins and minerals that are inside of your cilantro, and you're gonna find that you're gonna want to eat it with like every meal. It's that good for you. It really is. We're gonna be garnishing with cilantro today. Just washing off my cutting board. I say today because it is literally Sunday. And I have to be at work in a couple hours. It's okay though. It's my Friday. Everyone's Sunday is my Friday. The next one. I'm going to go ahead and add the gnocchi. Our beautiful little potato dumplings that are closed up like Fort Knox. Where's the rainbow knife? We need to get a counter for every time I hit my head with the mic.
I can set that up with a Nightbot command?
I think you can.
Let's see.
It's alright. Don't strain yourselves on thinking about stuff. If you come up with anything in the future that you want me to cook, I'll be glad. Until then, I'm just going to keep bringing you content based on what I like in the store, what Thekus and I discuss for the night. She gets a little antsy because I'm more of the artist. I just go with what I feel, and she is definitely more of the planner. So, tonight, 45 minutes before the show, we decided that we were going to do this. I want to give you guys as much fundamental. Pizza. Absolutely. You know what? You got it. Tuesday is pizza night. Come and catch us. What are we going to do? 5? You want to do 5 or you want to do 6?
5. 5.
Thekus wants to do 5 o'clock. Pacific
5 Pacific,
Yep.
but if that's too early.
I think that's good. 5 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. We're going to make pizza. We could prepare the dough on one stream, but what I'm gonna do is I think on my days off, I have Monday and Tuesday off, so on Monday, or maybe even tomorrow night or tonight actually, I'm gonna start. Oh yeah, I am playing IRL. So. Tomorrow night, I'm going to start my dough. And then I'm also going to do one on stream for you guys so that you can see how it's done, but we'll have one ready. You know, like on those old cooking TV shows where they would go, through the magic of television, and then they pull it out of the oven already done. And I'm going to do that, but with dough. I'm definitely going to show you the recipe and show you how it's done, but I'm going to have some ready to go, so it's not something that we have to spend hours on. Pizza, good one. And you know, I've actually been getting that request a couple of times now, so people definitely want to see us doing some pizza. I'm just stirring these guys up right now, making sure that the noodles cook and the dumplings cook. And I got some really big pieces of parsnip in there. Kind of off-putting. I really don't like the way it looks. Sort of pissing me off. And I feel like like this one doesn't have a lot of chicken in it. I'm going to steal a couple pieces of chicken out of this one. Give it to the dumpling one. Of course, this has to get the thickest taste test. So who knows which one she's going to like the most. Probably the chicken noodle is going to be the most normal. I kind of like the over-under on it, you know. Maybe we should start taking bets. Which soup is thickest going to like more? Yeah. Sans? Definitely. Seafood. We can do that. We did a little bit of shrimp last night. You were here. But whatever kind of seafood you would really want to do, whatever you think is good, whatever you're interested or curious about, we can grab some of it, assuming it's not super duper expensive. And you can give me a style that you want, or we can just do one our own. Chicky cousin's gonna go inside of the freezer. Okay, these are boiling a little bit heavy for me now. So I'm going to take them and put them down to about medium. I want them to keep boiling, but they're boiling a little hard. Now you can start to see that the dumplings now are floating. And that is a very good indication that your gnocchi is done. So, I'm going to check the vegetables here. I'm going to check the vegetables. I'm going to check the parsnips since they're the biggest and most annoying. So, on my cutting board here, you're going to see one of our parsnips. A7G7, checking the uptime. We're getting about to the end here, A7. And then we're going to pop in, we're going to do our little taste test, we're going to plate it up. Okay, so we got my little parsnip here. I'm going to look and I'm going to test the... And you see I can pull it apart there. It's soft, but not too soft. I think we're good on that. So we're going to pop that guy off. The other one is the radiatore. And you know pasta takes a little while to cook, so we're going to make sure that the pasta is cooked well. Parsnips. This is about the time we're going to start thinking about seasonings. So, first of course we got to taste our soup. Gosh, super flavorful right out of the gate. But it needs salt. So I'm going to use a little bit of... We're going to go with Morton's garlic sea salt today. So actually, A7, this food could take a lot less time. It does take time, but this particular meal can take a lot less time because I'm also trying to teach at the same time and also talk with people in the chat, so I'm taking a little bit more time than I usually would. Once you get these recipes down and you do them yourself the first time, then the second time you make them, you can start adding your own stuff to them, and it goes a lot faster, trust me. So the garlic salt is going to go in here. This is garlic salt with parsley flake added to it. I'm going to put quite a few good shakes into that because these pots are pretty good size. Muddy, do it. You got some skills in the kitchen, Muddy? Princess Natasha! You making your rounds tonight, Princess Natasha? Princess Natasha, if you guys don't know, is also a very proficient cook. I saw her do a gluten-free macaroni and cheese that, frankly, Made mine look kind of garbage. Now, I've seasoned those fairly heavily. That is actually her moniker as well. I'm not a chef. So you can go check her out on YouTube. If you can actually drop your link, Princess Natasha, if somebody wants to give her permission on that, she can drop her link to her YouTube, and everybody can go check that out. When are you gonna start going on Twitch, or if you're going to? There you go. Yeah, a couple of people have asked me to do that, A7, and I think I might end up trying to do that. But as I was saying earlier, though, a lot of times I don't even know what I'm going to cook until, like sometimes the final hour. It's kind of difficult for me to cook all day at work and then think of something to cook when I get home. And but once I start doing it, I have a lot of fun. So a lot of times I'll just literally go to the store. Oh, I'm sorry, jeez. Dropped a little bit of the stock on there. What?
It's not letting us preview it. I mean, I messed up mine, but devolved it twice. I think it should have gone through.
That's too bad. I'm pretty sure you can probably look up. So if you can just throw us the name of your YouTube, and people can go look you up on YouTube. Unfortunately, we can't do a direct link. I don't know. I think our default's like 60 seconds on that or something. I'm no Chef Natasha. Look her up on YouTube. Go give her some love. Follow her. She is a fellow warrior and just generally all around nice person. She's got an adorable grandma too.
I'm no Chef Natasha YouTube.
Deacus will find that. Sounds playing in the background. So even with all that stuff that we added, the salt level is still not exactly where I want it. We need to add more salt. Okay. I'm going to add... Deacus is definitely watching your stream now, Natasha. I'm sure you can hear it in the background. Studying for the board exam for another couple of months. You're studying for a board exam? So no Twitch or YouTube for a bit. Man. Well, you got to do what you got to do. You get out there in the world, and you gotta find your groove. And once you do, you're at a young age right now, but once you do, you'll find out what you're gonna do in life. You'll start working on that. You'll get it down, and then before you know it, you'll be looking to do other things with your extra time. And I hope that one day we see an I'm No Chef Natasha stream. And I tell you what, I'll be the first one in. All right, both of these soups are cooked. We're literally just kind of tasting for seasoning. And I know I can definitely tell it's going to need a little bit of cracked black pepper. A healthy bit of cracked black pepper. Blech. My mouth is going to stop working here pretty soon, so... We're going to put some food in it, and then we're going to go to bed.
So A7G7 just discovered that we have you have the sub option.
Yes! A7, man. We got affiliated just after the third show, the game stream. And yeah, we are officially affiliated now, man. Thank you so much. A7, and you're one of those guys. You're one of those guys where I couldn't have done this without you. Bouncing ideas off of you, telling you about what I'm going to do, you have introduced me to a lot of people as well. And, you know, even if you didn't know it, I've been following you around. I've been following you to Cupcake Stream. And, you know, we've hung out in Hopan Stream a lot. So, yeah. A7G7 is a guy that you should follow around because he knows all of the best streamers and all the best spots. And, yeah, I really could not have done it without A7. Yes, Hopan the Beast. We you know, so far tonight, our show's going to be coming to an end fairly soon, within the next half hour, I think. But so far tonight, we've had a great show. We picked up 3 subs. We picked up 4 or 5 followers. The stream is rolling forward. We're having a great time. Everybody is enjoying themselves, I hope. And we get to see all of the All-Stars come in the chat every night. And I love it. All right, cracked black pepper and salt is now in. I'm going to go ahead and give it another taste test. I want to get it just right. Oh yeah. A little bit more salt in this one. The salt content brings out all of the flavors. So, but you got to get the salt content right because you don't want it to just be salty. Insert salty emote.
Princess Natasha has a suggestion for doing a calzone, possibly even a pesto one.
A pesto calzone. So, next Tuesday, Princess Natasha, we have already decided that we're going to do pizza. So, the night before, I'm going to do Magic of TV, where I make some dough. And then I'm going to show you how to make that same dough on the stream. But I'm going to use the dough from the night before. And we're going to make pizza. And we can definitely make you a calzone, because it's pretty much the same dough. So, yeah, you want to tune in on Tuesday, 5 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. Hopefully you're not off and away on your board exams just yet, so you can come and see us. But yeah, we'll definitely make you a calzone. And you know what? I will even make you pesto from scratch, which I'm sure a good cook like you knows how to make a perfect pesto. So you can come on and put me to shame about it. Okay, now the cilantro, the fresh cilantro, over here on the cutting board. We're going to use our earlier technique that I showed you, the chiffonade, to make quick work of cilantro. I want to leave the bunch on. I'm going to try and leave it on and move it down as much as I can. You can see it already came a little loose, but whatever. So, I want to leave it on. And the reason why is because it's easier to shift that way. Shift is the shortened version of chiffonade that we use in the kitchen. This guy is going to be useless to me. But what I do is I take it and I fold it under. And then I fold it under again. And I push it down against the cutting board, right? So now I have this little package that I'm pushing against the cutting board with the force. Gotta reach over and get my knife. There we go. He's got to hit my head on the mic. All right, so I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna chiffonade it just like I did before with the sage actually. Now, this is going to get some stems in it, but the stems actually contain a lot of the vitamins as well. So, if you can stand the stems, and if you chiffonade it small enough, you don't even really notice them. So, this right here is prime real estate for our next stock, which we're not going to do tonight, but we can definitely keep that and throw it in our next vegetable stock to get that delicious, fresh flavor of cilantro. Now, I'm going to go across it again. Get a good chop. I don't want there to be any huge pieces of cilantro because, you know, when you cook cilantro and you get a big piece of it, it's kind of hard to chew. It gets stuck in your teeth. that's looking good. So I'm going to take half of it and put it in one. Take the other half, put it in the other. And leave just a little bit for our garnish. Because remember, we always want our food to look beautiful. Even if it's just for us, even if we're home alone by ourselves, we want our food to always look beautiful. So I got it into 2 different pieces, 2 different piles. One up here for garnish. The first one is going to go into the pot. So we're picking it up. We're going to bring it over to our pot. Bunch of cilantro. This is going to add a fresh hint into the soup. Because, you know, stocks that have cooked down for a long amount of time, use it for plant food. Huh. We kind of need to, we need to start growing stuff around here. We always like start off the summer like we're going to grow all this amazing shit. And then we never water it and it dies.
By the way, Princess Natasha also said she would like to see your technique on curly fries.
Curly fries? So you mean like all the way from potato? Huh. That is going to tax my ability by far. Because I do that with a paring knife. And it's not easy. I haven't got a lot of practice, honestly, so. Yeah, that's like a... Well, I would probably use... Where's the fancy... Ah, there we go. I would probably use this guy for it. This is a very special knife that I don't use very often. You can see it in the beginning of the Op9 opening. But this is a carbon steel blade from Japan. And like many other Japanese blades, it's flat on one end and the point goes down on the other. And that makes it perfect for doing things like curly fries straight from the potato. Spiralizer. Completely burning. Yeah, you definitely got to worry about the thickness of those, of your curly fries. They got to be pretty darn thick. I don't have a spiralizer. All I got is this old school piece of technology. And that makes it, if you can even imagine, even harder. Yeah, well, you know, I'm willing to give it a shot. I'm not going to say it's going to come out, but I'm willing to give it a shot. So, the last little bit of thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to add, like I said, I like my soups to be a little thicker than what we got. We got a lot of cilantro in this one. There we go. I like my soups to be a little thicker than that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of slurry. That's right, we got cornstarch back in the house, which we were really struggling with on the last episode. But now we got it. I'm going to add 2 little spoonfuls. I'm going to fill this up with cool water. We don't use hot water because it'll clump if it's warm. Cold water doesn't activate the starches. All right. Now it should look like milk. Definitely doesn't taste like milk. Don't try to drink it. We want to make sure that there's no clumps in there because we don't want to make little dumplings out of cornstarch. They don't taste good. And, you know the story. I'm going to pour about that in there. And this one actually got a little bit thicker because the potato from the gnocchi actually is covered in a little bit of potato starch. So that potato starch actually helped to thicken up this soup already. Once again, we're going to continue to stir these soups. This one is just instantly, because of all the noodles and stuff, it is instantly still really warm. So it's instantly going to go ahead and start thickening up. But the other reason I like to add a little bit of cornstarch is because the fat in these soups, we want to keep it, but The problem with it is, a lot of times it just kind of floats around on the surface. But if I use the cornstarch to kind of trap the fat inside of there, I don't have so much of a problem with fat kind of pooling on the surface and turning into that gross, icky soup skin. But yeah, we're real close here. We are real close to making delicious homemade chicken noodle soup and chicken with potato dumpling soup. This one's ready to go. It's rearing. I'm gonna keep stirring it just to make sure that the cornstarch does its job. Which is the difference in the two pots? So one of them is Princess Natasha. One of them is Radiatori, which you can see the pasta a little bit, and the other one is the little gnocchi potato dumplings. Do I freeze them or just use them and refrigerate? What are we talking about? Are we talking about the gnocchi or? Alright. Our thickness is good enough. Just good enough to keep the fats from coming to the surface too much. So we're going to clip that off. This one, I like where that's at as well. So we're going to start. Soups. I know a lot of people that make big batches and freeze them for winter use. To be honest with you, completely honest, around here, I live fairly close to my mom and my cousins. I live pretty close to my relatives in general. Soups don't tend to last too long around here. They get eaten up pretty good. So we'll have leftovers for a couple days. Thekus will take them to work and eat them there. Yeah, the soup gets eaten up around here pretty good. So I'm actually pretty proud of everybody for eating all their delicious soup. As always, we're going to use our super cool dragon bowls. Dragon bowls. They're my favorite bowls. Good for soup, good for cereal, good for anything. Living close to family is the best thing in life. Not always, A7, not always. Sometimes you want to strangle them, but they wouldn't be your family, I guess, if you didn't want to strangle them sometimes. Wow. So, I'm going to put this soup over here in the hyper color chamber over here so you guys can actually see the colors really, really, really well. I'm going to go ahead and pop the fresh cilantro over that. I'm going to move to the cutting board. Now, you know, actually I have those bay shrimp left over. They might even be good in this soup. But I'm going to go back to my ancient and most holy bottle of old sriracha. And I'm going to add just 2 or 3 little dabs in there. Just for a little bit of heat and a little bit of something cool to kind of taste in there. And we're getting right down to the end of this magic bottle, man. It's starting to bring tears to my eyes. Oh, that might be much.
A7G7 would like to know where you have gotten that knife.
This one? The Hampton Forge?
I think the Japanese knife.
Oh, the Japanese knife I actually got from a boss of mine. He had gone to Japan and picked it up for me from a Japanese knife shop. And yeah, so it's actually a gift. and I use it very seldomly because Japanese steel is it's finicky. It's made of high carbon. It can't be exposed to moisture for too long. You have to clean it off. You have to oil it, otherwise it will rust and discolor and all these things, you know, that will happen to your knife. But yeah, so there's my first soup, the chicken soup. We're gonna go kind of put that over in Thicus's domain. We're gonna grab the other one and we'll both try them together, so you guys can all see how that goes. Good amount of chicken in this one. Nice carrots. I like the fact that in this particular soup, you can really see the ingredients. They really pop out at you. I can see pretty much everything that's going on in there. Now I can add, if I want a different flavor, I can add red pepper in here for color. You can even add, you know, I like, in almost every single thing I eat, I like roasted or sun-dried tomatoes. It's actually a sashimi knife, but this particular sashimi knife is more of a utility knife, so it can be used. It can be used for different things. Mostly meat. Now that knife is not one of the things that you would use to, say, cut vegetables with. But pretty much any kind of meat you can cut. Thicus, are you ready? Kinda. I don't think she wants to be on the camera. But it's too bad. People come here to see Thicus, not Operative 9. They come here to see Thicus 9. All right, we're cutting those off. They're still bubbling away, but we're going to move them off the direct heat. We don't want them to overcook. These noodles and stuff, they can overcook. We kind of want them to stop boiling. I'm going to grab a couple of spoons. We're going to sit down and we're going to tell you how these two soups stack up to one another. Ah, hit my head on the damn mic again. Princess Natasha, you're the sweetest. Oh. 21 times? Who counted?
Duvall created a... No, he asked how many times I thought you had hit. I said 20. It was probably more. Let's get this.
All right, guys. Man, tonight was a great stream. We had so much love coming in. We got to watch that ridiculous Thicus in the onesie thing. What, 4 times? 3? 4 times?
3-4 times.
Awesome. And now we've got this delicious soup in front of us. We're going to enjoy it. We're going to go relax. It's been a long, long, long day. Especially for Thicus. She gets up at like 4 o'clock in the morning. She stays up all night to help us have the best stream. I'm trying the gnocchi one first, and I got a nice gnocchi right here. The gnocchi's perfect. Grab my chop. Bring it over here.
I already had one over.
Made a command to keep track of suggestions. People can add suggestions with the command /suggestion, and they type their suggestion. You guys can see the list using the command suggestion list. The ball.
Thank you.
That is genius.
Yes, thank you.
That is genius, the ball. And this is why I was a little, apprehensive to call you into the stream. Originally, I wanted it to be Meech because Meech has a lot of good ideas. I didn't want to take you and your, I didn't want to take your expertise away from Young Warrior. But I think just being Young Warrior and how cool he is, I think he's actually starting to structure his time slots around what I'm doing. And I think mostly it's just because he wants to watch, which is also really cool. But anyway, you guys have heard me talk enough. We're just going to kind of chat here and enjoy our soup. And
by the way, guys, you can also leave suggestions for when I can't figure out what's for dinner, because I can't be expected to know what I want to eat. And poor Op here, he has to put up with me.
This girl is like, I'm hungry. And I'm like, well, what do you want to eat? And she's like, I don't know. I'm starving. I don't know what I want to eat, though. Suggestion, jazz in the background. Oh, A7.
How about a little scat? Give it up, scat.
Deacons, how's the soup?
The soup is fantastic.
Pizza is always a go-to. You know what, Princess Natasha? That is pretty much a go-to for everybody. And I've been having a lot of trouble because, to be perfectly honest, I've been trying to be on this diet where I don't really go for carbs too much. I mean, for one meal a day, I have a little bit of carbs, which is usually on the stream because, you know, you guys aren't on this no-carb diet, so I don't want to torture you with, you know, food that doesn't have carbs in it.
Sortastic. A suggestion for chicken parmesan. We actually did a keto chicken parmesan a couple weeks back. That was actually fantastic.
Yeah, it was used with flax meal actually, and it came out really well. Yeah, let's switch. Now I'm gonna try the radiatore. What do you think of the noodle shapes? I think they hold up a little better.
The texture of those are perfect.
So I didn't really do chicken parmesan per se. I did chicken cordon bleu. It's alright, DeBall. They're basically the same. One of them is just stuffed with ham and Swiss. But it's basically the same kind of, you know. Spring rolls. I would love to do spring rolls. You know, I'm actually going to get a person in here, or going to try really hard, to get a person in here who owns some sushi restaurants. And he's a great sushi chef and a great friend of mine. And I'm going to try and get him in here to show you guys how to roll sushi. I think you guys have a lot of fun with that. I know I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. Oh, wow. So, that little bit of sriracha I put in, I didn't put it in the dumpling one. But man, just that little bit of spice brings out, like, whew, it brings out so much extra flavor. It hits off the cilantro beautifully. I definitely recommend put a little bit of sriracha in this soup if you decide to make it at home. Sushi bazooka. Enchiladas, eggs benedict, all these things are great ideas. Thank you guys so much for making this list for me, because I tell you, I struggle on some nights. What do you think of the parsnip? It's got almost potato texture. There's actually a thing called the sushi bazooka. Alright, you've piqued my interest, sir. Oh my god, come on! It's only $14.
Is that like it molds everything for you?
Yeah, it just squishes it out onto the...
That looks like cheating.
That is definitely cheating. Ah, it just squishes it right out onto there. Man, cheaters. We're going to show you how to do it right. Sushi bazooka, come on. You know what? Princess Natasha, keep adding them. Seriously. I hope that this stream lasts or goes on for 1,000 years.
No, seriously, yes, please keep adding suggestions. It really just gives us a bigger bank of ideas to work from. Because we tend to, we have things that we like and we kind of become stagnant in our own tastes.
That's good, Muddy. I can do a couple things. First thing that comes to mind is like Thai food, pad Thai, and also the Thai peanut sauce and the spring rolls. So yeah, I can think of a couple things where peanut would be the main flavor. Is that like your favorite thing, Muddy? You really into peanuts? So which one do you think you like more? Do you like the gnocchi?
I like that one better, the one you're eating.
I kind of think I like the other one better. So we can switch back.
I think I like the spice of the sriracha in this one.
Yeah, that spice. You can put that in this one too.
Plus, this one has a little bit more cilantro, which I really like.
Yeah, well, I mean, pretty much. Actually, this one has more cilantro in it. The thing is, that spice is putting out the cilantro flavor a lot more. Man, Natasha.
I totally gave you permission.
Tofu bacon. That's interesting. See, so there, I know a lot of things. I've been around the block. I know a lot of things, but I don't know about tofu bacon. So that's a good thing just for us to figure out, play with.
Cauliflower Manchurian?
Got a little bit of soup on the key. My fancy keyboard. It's got soup on it. Huh. Man, they get really like, you making the dog lick the keyboard?
Dude, he's efficient.
It says deleted link. Non-bread. That'd be cool. Yeah, we get all your links to all, but it says that the links are deleted for Princess Natasha. Bruschetta. I love bruschetta. Man, Princess Natasha, you got all the ideas. So good. Make sure block hyperlinks box isn't checked. Good. No, I didn't make gnocchi from scratch this time. It's actually fairly easy though. But yeah. It's fairly easy to make a pretty good gnocchi, so I can always do that. But I mean, I didn't really want this stream to go for like 5 hours, so we bought them in this time. But we got a good brand.
Tiramisu.
Now you're getting crazy. Thai red curry I can do. Tiramisu, man, whoo! I like cooking Italian. Italian is a simple food, except for their desserts. I didn't know Philly was known for their cheesecake. Yeah, Philly cheesesteaks.
Oh, it didn't go.
Ticas is primarily Puerto Rican and Colombian, so she knows how to throw down on some rice and beans.
Oh, it won't let me do it. Oh no, there it goes.
See, you guys got all the ideas. As soon as we give you a little wingding to play with. So, I'm trying to stay on a 0 calorie, 0 sugar kind of routine. So I'm drinking this. Normally, I don't really like the artificial sweetened stuff. But this one right here is actually pretty delicious. It's sparkling ice crisp apple, and it just tastes like a really good. Tastes like a really good apple cider. You don't really taste the fake sugar. I try to stay away from a lot of green or a lot of fake sugar. But yeah, this one, as far as I know, it's a sucralose. It's a sucralose product, which isn't all that great for you, but it's not sugar, so it doesn't kick me out of ketosis. That's that's basically why I drink it. It's like a special thing I get to have after work. But yeah, if you like apple cider, pick one of those up. They're delicious. Get it nice and ice cold. The sky is the limit for Princess Natasha. She wants us to make kombucha.
You go to Portland. That's how you make kombucha.
I know a couple of people who have brewed their own kombucha, but the thing about kombucha is if you get it wrong, it can be kind of dangerous. We are in Vancouver, Washington, which is about 5 minutes away from Portland, Oregon.
I mean, kombucha's fantastic.
Dekus likes a bit of kombucha. I think it tastes like beer. I'm not opposed to beer, but I'm not a giant beer fan. Vancouver, Canada. The better Vancouver.
Oh, you're from the Vancouver that every time I say I'm from Vancouver, everyone goes, "Oh, you're from Canada," and I go, "No."
Mm-hmm.
We're from Little Vancouver. You haven't heard of it. And then I whip out my hipster glasses and run away.
Yes, it does have alcohol content, but it's like 0.01%. I think I've seen it closest up to 0.04%. Yeah, every time. Well, where are you from? Oh, we're from Vancouver. Oh, Canada? No, Washington. Technically, I am a native Canadian, though. I am a Native American and French and Norwegian. And my tribe is called the Maliseet, and they are in New Brunswick. So I'm predominantly Canadian. Yep, Canadian from the other side of the continent. Man, these things are so good. All right, I think we're gonna start looking for somebody to raid.
Who do we got going on right now?
Yeah, who do we got going on right now?
Who did we raid yesterday?
Yesterday we raided MCB, I think. You know, Princess Natasha, Voodoo Donuts is kind of like a tourist trap. Back in the day, Voodoo Donuts used to be raw. Man, you could get crazy donuts there. You could get a NyQuil donut. If you're feeling sick, you got a flu, you're not feeling so good, you can make your way down to Voodoo Donuts and get a donut with NyQuil frosting and a cup of NyQuil in the middle. Let's say your stomach is upset. Well, they got a Pepto donut. Pepto frosting, Pepto cup in the middle. Nowadays, the FDA kind of looks down on putting drugs into your food. So they made them stop doing that. But you can still get a maple bar with bacon on it,
Which is fantastic.
It tastes like breakfast, and I kind of want one now. But yeah.
But there are, as much hype as Voodoo Donuts gets, there are other donut places actually around Portland that are fantastic that many of the tourists don't necessarily hear about.
Mm-hmm.
Like Blue Star, for example.
Blue Star Donut's good.
Is fantastic donuts, and they're local as well.
Yeah, we got all kinds of stuff down here. I tell you what, Princess Natasha, next time you get down to the to baby Vancouver, they apparently have good vegan options.
Actually, I was my friends actually were posting up a bunch of vegan places in Portland. Homegrown Smoker was one of them. But yeah, Portland's full of them. Full of vegan restaurants.
What a name. Then he was more cool with it. First of all, I just wanted to comment you on your amazing name. Smack on my tibby boosters. Second of all, I probably know you. Probably. Third, I don't know if you know this, but I've been a chef for a long time, so there's pretty much nothing that you can say that is possibly offensive to me. So you can go right ahead and talk about jerking off to lesbian porn, and I'll laugh right along with you. But I gotta know, how cool was he with you jerking off to lesbian porn? Because I think he's got to be like pretty much okay with it, right? really good donut shop at OSU called Buckeye Donuts. They have amazing maple bacon donuts. Well, you know where they got that from. Let me tell you who doesn't have awesome maple bacon donuts. Winco at 3 o'clock in the morning. God damn, those are disgusting. They're like maple bars, and they got like greasy maple or greasy bacon bits on top of it. So it's like bacon bits and just grease and like this amalgamation on top of a maple bar. Yeah, they don't have good ones. Winco, by the way, is like a big box place down here. All I could eat in Ohio was Chipotle. So, Natasha, are you like 100% vegan or? Lacto-vegetarian, but I like to explore vegan options when possible.
So you have special powers.
Ovo-lacto-vegetarian, baby. So you couldn't give up the cheese, huh? No, I couldn't give up cheese either. Hell no. I couldn't give up eggs either. I basically live on eggs, nuts, pepperoni sticks. I have a pretty unhealthy diet, actually. But I am losing weight. I'm going to do it a little bit longer and see where we go from there.
If you love cheese, you're in the right spot.
Cheese. What about kale chips? I've been making kale chips lately. This last batch was too salty, but yeah. I like kale chips. And I hate kale. Like, I can't eat kale in anything else. Maybe soup. Yeah, I can see how that would be a thing. Yeah, we sure did using tempeh.
Yeah.
It was pretty awesome. We actually did vegan.
I prefer that chili over regular.
Yeah, we actually did vegan for about a month. We did vegetarian for about a month. An air fryer. Does it really work? Yeah, I do a fine gumbo too. Well, dang, I mean, this recipe tonight could most definitely be transferred over to vegan. I mean, it's literally just, we pretty much started out with it being vegan.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Never had meat or eggs.
In your whole life? So, wow, so your parents were actually vegan then. Sorry, lacto-vegetarian.
That is pretty cool. I don't think I've actually ever met somebody who has never had meat before. That's pretty awesome.
Wow, you've never even been like a little bit curious about it? Like, some people smoke weed once in their life, you know? You've never just been like, shit, I wonder what all this bacon is about. Nice. They drop all their weight. Yeah, so actually, I don't know if you probably know a lot about diets. Anybody who spends their entire life on a restricted diet probably knows a good amount about diets. And the ketogenic diet that I'm actually using right now is it's mostly leafy green vegetables and fats like avocados, nuts. I eat a lot of cashews. I eat a lot of avocados. I eat a lot of coconut oil, MCT oil, but you can also eat meat, fairly good qualities of it, or quantities of it, and you can also eat fat, like animal fat. But animal fat is the least healthy for you. That's the one that clogs up your arteries. But for the most part, what we figured out about nutrition is that the thing that makes you the most overweight is sugar, of course. Sugar is the deadliest thing for us right now. Man, the ball. Yeah.
Some sausage.
The hype of bacon is about good bacon.
Yeah.
Like we get some bacon that it doesn't taste like other bacon. It tastes like for real bacon. Everything else you get in the store, it's kind of garbage. You know, Bar S and all that junk. You gotta get some real, thick cut, smoky, like maybe applewood smoke, pepper bacon, and you gotta cook it in the oven on a flat pan. Oh man, Sork, I make crazy good avocado or guacamole. My guacamole is really simple too. But,
Squish, squish.
Squish, squish. Yeah, I'll squish up some guacamole for you. It's good stuff. We eat that one. We eat that a lot too because you know, I try to eat as much avocados as possible. Breakfast theme with bacon. Yeah. Okay, so I know we're having an awesome conversation here, but I really gotta get a move on. So we're gonna re-roll here, see who we still got on. So MCB, we did last night. Just Fly Reaper came in. I think we got him from Hopan maybe, or it might have been. It might have been like Divinity and them. He's the guy from Outback Steakhouse.
Yes.
Then we got ICP, who we've already rated before. I think he was our first rating. IPC. No, ICP. Buddy. Yeah, Buddy's your guy. So, yeah, he's your guy. ICP. Yikes. We're not going to rate ICP. Necker bags. Who's Necker bags? Told you I'd come watch. A lot of people told me they would come watch. But I'm definitely glad that you're here. We got in a little bit late. Or you got in a little bit late. We're just about ready to finish the stream. So just in case it's a true link in Discord that shows how to get Discord Twitch linked up for your server.
Yes.
That is definitely like it's definitely on our list.
Oh.
Hey! I think that's probably Knacker Bags. We get the noise way before we actually get the thing right now.
Yay!
Yep. So, thank you for following. Sorry that we got into the stream late. Our next stream is going to be at Tuesday at 5 p.m. and we're going to be doing pizza. And I'm going to be doing pizza from scratch with my own dough recipe. Yeah. Thank you and welcome to the agency. We had a great night tonight. We did oven roasted chicken with herbs and olive oil. We did 2 different kinds of soup. Sauce from scratch too. Yeah, I can do that. We'll do that. We can even go so far as to do, we can concassate the tomatoes. So we can even go so far as to breaking down the tomatoes beforehand. Now, crushed Italian tomatoes in the can are usually how I go, because they're sweeter and, you know, they're literally harvested at the height of the season and then sent over here. But I can show you, like right now is not tomato season. So we can find tomatoes. They're going to be hothouse tomatoes. Yeah. So we can definitely figure out what it is that you need in your sauce, buddy. My sauce is actually pretty simple unless I'm trying to do an arrabbiata. Taking more vegetarian, vegan journey ourselves. Yeah, we have, Thegus. It's weird. Because you're saying words on the screen, but you're sitting right next to me. I'm hearing your brain. Stink the land! Thanks for coming, Stink. Thanks to all the warriors who showed up. And have a great sleep. Have sweet dreams. Come back and see us on Tuesday when we're going to be doing pizza. Right now, we're going to go ahead and we're going to raid Just Fly Reaper. Friend of Muddy's. And we're going to go ahead and raid him because I still don't know how to actually host.
Oh.
My keyboard is pressing M all the time.
I think you can hit like exclamation post host or something.
Is it? Is it just that simple?
I think so.
Hey DeBall, is it that simple to host people? You just press exclamation point host in the name? Let's find out. Or maybe it's slash. I bet you it's slash.
Yeah, one of those like the Twitch slash.
I'm gonna forget. Just Fly Reaper. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, he's not even streaming now.
Oh. Go back in here.
It didn't work.
No, yeah, like I think you're still going on yours.
Am I? I don't think so.
Oh, nope, you're off.
I'm not fine.
I don't know, your camera's still on my feed.
God, it's doing that fucking thing again. Why are you used? I hate this motherfucker. So, if you can still hear me, I don't know. But if you can still hear me, and there are people in the chat, I'm going to drop you off with IPC. So I'm still in there, huh?
Yeah, you're still streaming.
That's weird, because according to my Twitch, I'm not streaming anymore. It says streaming IRL here, but when I go into the channel...
Anyways, do you want to do a host or a raid?
I'm going to go ahead and just drop you off with I Paint Creatures tonight. So I'm going to press slash host. I Paint Creatures. I'm gonna drop whoever's left off with IPC, and I hope you all had a good time. And I'm sorry that that first one didn't work out. We're still trying to figure it out a little bit, but yeah. Here's IPC. Let's go.
Turn off OBS.